This is the Excel 2016 class, and I just handed out the schedule. So let me just do a visual of what the schedule looks like on the screen. And I can explain this a little bit too. The book I handed you has 5 chapters, and each one of the chapters then has these subjects: creating, managing worksheets, workbooks, managing cells. And what I've got here is also a chapter number and a page number, and the subsections of each chapter have some practices. So on 1-1, which is on page 14, there'll be some practices in there. And largely I'm going to be asking you to do those things at home. I know you just got the books today, so you won't have had the time to do anything with that. We're going to be using some other tools too. And do either of you have 2016 on your home computers?
I believe I do.
You do?
Think I do.
Okay. If you don't, I'm going to give you the tools to log into these machines so you can practice on these machines. If you've got it at home, then it makes it easier in a way, because we're going to be using a practice tool called Gmetrics. And Gmetrics just has a bunch of, and we'll do some of this in class too, a bunch of tests. The nice thing about it, and we'll see this when we get into it, it shows you, if you don't know the answer, there's a little light bulb there, and you can click on the light bulb. For me, I think this class really is a hands-on class. It's not so much reading the book and understanding it, but really just playing with the keyboard, practicing it, and working with it. So this is the basic outline of the class. The things I've got in parentheses over here. GCF Learn Free is a tool that I like to use. They've got short 2, 3, 4-minute videos on different subjects. And I think they're very helpful. So we're going to watch some of them when we start the class here. So I guess it's about the introductory part. Tell me about yourselves and your experience with Excel.
My name is Denise Durham. I'm switching careers, going from real estate into medical. So my experience with Excel is pretty limited. I'm very basic, just the basic tools I'm familiar with Excel.
Okay. How about you?
I'm switching too. I decided to go, like I said, for the medical also. We're doing the billing and coding. Yeah. So I'm done with the course. I'm waiting for the exam more or less right now. And I was administrative assistant for many years. So I got some experience in Excel, creating sheets and all the Microsoft Word.
Yeah, probably Word quite a bit.
Yeah, nobody uses this anymore, but still, writing the letters. But I have some experience with Excel.
I'll be going through some things that may be very basic, but other things that are helpful. And even in this intro class, as it's called, there's a lot of things I didn't know that I've learned as
you can always learn the tricks in Excel. It's just such a big program that
Microsoft has built into it sometimes 2 or 3 ways to do the same thing, which sometimes is helpful, sometimes frustrating. I'll say, wait, I did it a different way last time.
Yeah, I know.
You get to the same point. I'm going to give you a handout here, which I think I also sent out to you. This is a list of the GCF free videos related to 2016. And we're going to go through some of these to start the class. Let's see. I have lots of handouts. I'm going to give you 2 things that are quick reference guides for Excel. And as I say, these are just references. It shows you kind of a quick start guide. And I'm not sure if you're keyboard people or mousers. I'm a mouser. They have a list of shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts too, that can be helpful. And these are just helps to have. I use 1 or 2.
I'm with you.
I use a couple shortcuts. I use
Control C and
Control C. Yeah, I don't use a lot of these other ones, but there's quite a few of them. And I think I'll get started now with some videos. So let me show you some videos. Where's that? And we're going to be using GCF Learn Free. I've given you a list of videos. It looks like this when you actually go out to GCF Learn Free. And I'm showing it in boxes here, but you can actually show it as a list, which looks similar to what you have on that printout. But I'm used to using the boxes. I'll explain a little bit about these too. Let me just open this one just to show you what it looks like. A lot of times there'll be some information, there'll be a video, and then down below it, it actually walks you through what they're talking about, gives you screenshots and things of it. This one doesn't, but a lot of them have a practice file too, which you can open up and do the same thing they show us in the video. So we'll do some of those in class, but this is really more introductory here, so I'll start with this one. Let's see if I got the sound right.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life. Excel is a spreadsheet program that allows you to store, organize, and analyze information. You can use it to create contact lists, budgets, invoices, and just about anything else you can imagine. When you open Excel, there's a good chance you'll be taken to the Start screen first. From here, you can access recent workbooks or create something new, either from scratch or from a template. In this example, we'll click Blank Workbook. Next, you might want to take a minute to explore the interface to make sure you know your way around. Let's begin with the ribbon, which is the collection of tools and features at the top of the screen. The ribbon is divided into tabs like Page Layout, Insert, and Home, so you can easily find what you're looking for. There are also commands on each tab that have been organized into groups. For example, if you look closely at the font group, you'll find it has everything you need to work with text, including options like bold, italics, font color, and size. Some groups even have an arrow in the bottom right corner that you can click to do even more commands. If you ever feel like the ribbon is taking up too much space, you can always hide it or minimize it. All you have to do is click the arrow in the upper right corner. Then choose the option you want. Also in the upper right corner is a place where you can access your Microsoft account. Here you can update your photo, manage your account settings, or switch to a different account altogether. You can even customize your copy of Excel to make certain commands more convenient. Take the Quick Access toolbar in the upper left corner. This area gives you access to frequently used commands like save and undo, no matter where you are on the ribbon. To add more commands, just click the tiny arrow next to the toolbar, then choose the ones you want. I'm going to add new, and also quick print because I use both of these commands pretty frequently. In Excel 2016, you'll also find a new feature called Tell Me. It works like a search bar to help you quickly find tools or commands you want to use. Just type in what you want to do in your own words. The results will give you a few options and then guide you through the process, as well as offering additional resources. Now let's take a look at the workbook itself, which is also sometimes referred to as a worksheet or a spreadsheet. In this example, I've opened an order list that I'm working on. Every worksheet contains cells, columns, and rows for entering data, plus the formula bar for working with your data. If you need to scroll up or down, or even side to side, you can use the scroll bars here and here. In the bottom right corner, you'll find several tools that will help you change the way your worksheet is displayed. To zoom in or out, click and drag the zoom control. The number next to the slider will tell you what the zoom percentage is. You can also switch between different worksheet views using the 3 commands here. Normal is selected by default. This mode is great for everyday tasks like entering and editing data. Page layout shows you what the worksheet will look like on the printed page. You can also add headers and footers here. Page break preview makes it easy to change the location of page breaks in your workbook. This can be especially useful if you're printing lots of data. Last but not least, let's take a quick tour of the Backstage view. You can get here by clicking the File tab. Just look for it on the far left of the ribbon. Here, you can access all kinds of information related to your current workbook and more. This includes commands like new, open, save, and print. All you have to do is click an item, and it will open in the right pane. This makes it easy to find what you're looking for and review your options all in one place. That covers the basics of Excel 2016. Now that you're more comfortable with the interface, including the backstage view, the ribbon, and the work area, you're ready to start your first worksheet.
This gives you a taste of what these are like. They're just short videos, but they cover specific topics, and they're pretty handy for that. Let's see. I'll just do a little walkthrough of some things in Excel. Most of the time, I don't like to just show and tell. I'd rather have you doing things, but there are times when showing is helpful. This is kind of the typical view you see when you open up Excel. And I usually use blank workbooks or things I've already saved from the past. They've done an amazing job of giving us lots and lots and lots of templates. And this one here, there's some calendars, there's some, what's that one called? A template for accessible something or other. Some have formulas and things built in. And there's a small tour here too, which is helpful, especially with the new versions. But if you click on one of these, it'll give you a preview, and you can click on create, and it would actually let you create it. If I didn't see what I need here, there's some suggested searches for business, personal, industrial, blah, blah, blah. And if you didn't see what you wanted there, you could actually type in something, like if I wanted a calendar. I know there's one on the screen. But if I type in calendar and enter, it's going to search thousands of templates. And it brings up, in this case over here, there's 64 different templates of calendars. That's kind of handy. I mean, if you want a yearly calendar or a monthly calendar, there's lots of possibilities here. And some fun, colorful ones too. Rainbow bears, this would be one I think I'd show to my grandkids. So lots of options, and then under the right side here, you can see it not only looks at the total, but then breaks it down into further categories. So if I was doing a weekly calendar or one for school with my classes and stuff, I could put that in there. Lots of different combinations there. I'll show you a few more. Oh, we haven't talked about the class routine. I like to take a break about every hour. If I forget to say anything, though, and we're just cruising along, just to say, hey, can we take a break? And I'm fine with that. And since you've been here before, you know where the washrooms, water, and coffee are. I did make some coffee today, too. Oh, this one's probably going to say part of what I just said, too.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Most features in Microsoft Office, including Excel, are geared towards saving and sharing files online. This is done with OneDrive, which is an online storage space for your documents and files, so you can access them even when you're away from your computer. If you want to use OneDrive, make sure you're logged into Excel with...
That's Microsoft's version of the cloud. You can use OneDrive if you want, or Google Docs, or there's lots of different companies that have ways of saving stuff. But that's most of the time I just save things to my computer. I don't save them off to the cloud.
With your Microsoft account. Whether or not you're using OneDrive, in Excel, most projects begin the same way, with creating or opening a new blank workbook. All you have to do is go to the Backstage view and choose New. If you prefer to start from scratch, go ahead and click the thumbnail that says Blank Workbook. But you can also start with a template. You'll find them in the very same place in the Backstage view. A template is a file that comes with its own design and sometimes even complex formulas or formatting. They make it easy to create professional-looking workbooks without a lot of time and effort. You can browse the ones you see here or search for something specific. If you see a template you like, just click to view a preview. Then click the Create button. Opening an existing workbook is also very easy. Again, you'll want to go to the Backstage view, but this time, click Open in the left pane. If the workbook you're looking for is something you worked on recently, it might be listed under Recent Workbooks. In fact, you can pin certain workbooks here, so you always have access to your most frequently used files. All you have to do is move your cursor over the file, then click the push pin icon. To unpin it, click the icon again. You can pin as many workbooks as you want. If the file you're looking for hasn't been opened recently, just look to the other options. For example, under OneDrive, you can access files that are saved online to your OneDrive account. Under this PC, you can access files that are saved locally, or you can click Browse, then select the workbook you want. When you're ready, click Open, and the workbook will appear. Now you know how to create and open workbooks in Excel.
I save a lot on my computer, but I do like that pinning option. So there's
Yeah,
two or three
to look
files.
for.
2 or 3 files I use all the time, so I've got those pinned. So when I open up Excel, they're right at the top. About saving and sharing workbooks.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Most features in Microsoft Office, including Excel, are geared towards saving and sharing files online. This is done with OneDrive, which is an online storage space for your documents and files, so you can access them even when you're away from your computer. If you want to use OneDrive, make sure you're logged into Excel with your Microsoft account. But whether or not you're using OneDrive, it's important to save your work frequently in case Excel or your computer shuts down unexpectedly. Let's take a look at the regular save command first. You'll find it on the Quick Access toolbar. Just click, and if it's a new workbook, you'll be taken to the Backstage view. Here you can save the workbook to OneDrive or your computer. In this example, we're going to save the file to this computer. Click Browse to choose a location. Next, enter a file name for the workbook, and click Save when you're done. Now you can save anytime as you continue to work. All you have to do is click the Save command on the Quick Access toolbar again. If you want to save a different version, maybe in a different location or with a different file name, you can go to Save As in the Backstage view and follow the same steps. If you primarily save workbooks to your computer, you might want to change the default settings so computer is always selected. To do this, click Options in the Backstage view. Then click Save in the left pane. And check the box that says Save to Computer by Default. When you're done, click OK to close the dialog box. If you ever forget to save, or if Excel crashes while you're working, not to worry. The Auto Recover feature saves a backup copy of your workbook automatically. To recover a file that was lost without saving, all you have to do is reopen Excel. The Document Recovery pane should appear on the left. Here you can access any auto-saved versions of the file. By default, Excel auto-saves every 10 minutes. So if you're working on something for less than 10 minutes, you might not be able to use this feature. Next, I'd like to show you how to export your file to an alternative file type. You can access your options in the Backstage view under Export. PDF is a good choice if you need to send a file to someone who doesn't have Excel. This format will make it possible for them to view, but not edit the workbook, using a free program that anyone can download. Under Change File Type, you can access several other formats depending on what you need. For example, if the person you're sharing with has Excel, but it's Excel 2003 or earlier, you'll need to send them a 97 to 2003 workbook instead. Finally, let's take a look at more ways that you can share by going to the Share option in the Backstage view. Here, your choices will vary depending on whether or not the file is saved to your OneDrive account. For example, if it is saved to OneDrive, you can share it online and invite specific people to collaborate with you. This lets you work on the exact same file with friends, coworkers, and other OneDrive users, so you don't have to keep track of multiple versions or pass the workbook back and forth. Alternately, you can get a link that you can share any way you want. How you choose to save and share in Excel is up to you. It just depends on the workbook. With so many options, you should be able to accomplish exactly what you need, whether it's exporting your file as a PDF or sharing it online.
Because in business, a lot of times, you'll be sharing or working on something together. Most companies, most offices have a server where a lot of times you'll have, we used a thing called Compass where I used to work. SharePoint, kind of like that too. Yeah, where everyone will save stuff to a certain place where you got reports and different things out there. She always talks about the Microsoft product of Share Drive, but there's Dropbox, there's Google Docs, there's all sorts of tools out there for doing that kind of thing. A lot of times you may be just saving it to your computer though. So I think saving it to your computer is probably going to be the more common thing. Well, except in business. Again, in your business, you may have to save it to certain folders or different places.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Every worksheet contains thousands of cells where different columns and rows intersect. You'll need to know how to work with these cells in order to enter and edit data. Every cell has its own name based on its location, sometimes called a cell address. In this example, the cell I've selected is where column D and row 6 intersect, making the cell address D6. The address also appears in the name box above the worksheet. To select a cell, just click it. You can even use the arrow keys on your keyboard to navigate between cells instead of clicking with your mouse. To select more than one cell at a time, known as a cell range, click and drag, and the entire range will be highlighted. You can enter lots of things into a cell. For example, all of mine contain text, but they can contain advanced properties too, like formulas, functions, and formatting elements. For now, I'd just like to show you the basics. We'll start with inserting content into a cell. This person has confirmed that she completed part 2 of the training. So I'm going to select cell F9, then type in X. It appears in the cell and in the formula bar, where you can also enter or edit the contents of your cell. In fact, I'm going to take this opportunity to change the X to a capital X, so it's consistent with the rest of the list. Now for the next person, Walter. Although it looks like I've made a mistake, he's on the list twice, both here and here. I'm just going to clear the contents of the extra row by selecting the cells, then clicking the clear command on the ribbon, and choosing clear contents. You can also use backspace or delete on your keyboard. So let's take a look at what that did. It cleared the contents of the cell, but the row is still there. That's okay. If you want to delete the cells altogether, all you have to do is click the delete command instead. That actually removes the cells from the worksheet, causing the cells underneath to shift up and fill in the gap. Just remember that there's a difference between clearing and deleting cells, so you don't accidentally delete cells that you want to keep. Now I'd like to show you a way to save time by copying and pasting content. For example, I need to mark the rest of the people who completed part 2 of the training. Start by clicking the cell you want, then click Copy on the ribbon. You'll see a dashed box that appears around the copied cell. Next, select the cells where you want the content to go, then click Paste. To access more paste options, open the drop-down menu here. These commands will come in handy if you're copying and pasting cells that contain formulas or advanced formatting. You can also get to these commands by right-clicking in the worksheet. For example, to cut and paste, select your cells, then right-click, and choose Cut. The original content will disappear as soon as you paste it in a new location. There's also a drag and drop technique for moving cells from one place to another. To drag and drop, start by selecting your cells, then place your cursor on an outside edge. As you can see, it turns into a symbol with 4 arrows and a pointer. Now click, hold, and drag the cells wherever you want them to go, and release your mouse. And the cells have moved to their new location. To mark the rest of the people who completed part 3, I'm going to use one of my favorite techniques, filling in cells with the fill handle. You can fill vertically or horizontally by selecting the cell you want to use, then clicking and dragging the square in the bottom right corner. The fill handle can also be used to continue a series. For example, numbers, dates, and other information that's listed in sequential order. See what happens when I use the technique on my header row? It continues the series up to part 6. Now you know the basics, including insert and delete, cut, copy, and paste, and other time-saving techniques. Everything you need to know to work with cells in Excel.
She makes it sound so easy. And a lot of it is easy. It's a lot of times just a matter of learning what to do.
And I guess, the more you use it, the more familiar you get with it, yeah.
That's why I like to do more hands-on things. So actually what I'm going to ask you to do is on your computer, click the escape key and bring it up again. We'll play with this one. I'll help Elizabeth with this too. You can click on Google. I'll be back up here and I can show you what I did then. Well, I'll just open it up again. So I'll close that one. And once you get Google up, just type in GCF Learn. GCF Learn Free. You make it one word. And then you get a window like this, and what we're going to click on is Microsoft Office 2016. GCF Learn Free actually has lots of information out there for a lot of different things. We're just looking at Microsoft Office, but it has some things. I don't think it has medical coding, but it has things for using other kinds of files and different kinds of things. And then you probably got taken to something like this. We're going to click on Excel. And I'll keep Elizabeth in sync with us here.
I'm sorry, I just got some upset.
Oh, no problem.
I got it, so don't worry about it.
Okay, well, I've got it on our computers too, because we're going to open up the same practice one that they had, and I believe it was number 5. So click on number 5, Cell Basics. And then the video is here, but just above it, you'll see Practice Workbook. So if you click on that, it'll download it into your corner, probably bottom left corner. If you double click on it, you can open it up, and you'll see the same file that she demonstrated in the video. So yeah, click on this guy. Oh, you get it down here, then it downloads it, and then you can double click on one of those. And it'll open it up, it'll make it full screen. Then there's going to be always a yellow bar at the top where we have to click on Enable Editing, otherwise we can't do anything with it. And once you do that, then we can do work on it. She showed in the video 2 things that a lot of people do, like for cutting and pasting and copying, we can use these things in the ribbon under the thing called clipboard up there. I'm a mouser, so I usually right click and do things, and she did show that with this. If we wanted to move this over, you can highlight something and right click. And what right click does gives you all these commands again that you could have pulled off of the top thing. And this is where I like to do things like cut and paste or copy. So I'm going to cut and paste the on hold. I think she just moved it down to, well, we're just playing with it. So we can just move it anywhere you want.
Underneath the X?
Yeah, underneath the X under part 2. So you can cut and right click and paste. We could have done the same things using the commands up here, but I think for me, I'm a mouser, like I say, and so I do most things with them. Wow, a long time ago, when I was learning Lotus 1, 2, 3, which is like Excel, I was a keyboard guy and I used the keyboard a lot. Then I worked with a young lady who just was whizzing through things using the mouse. I thought, wow, that's really great. I should try that. And so I did, and now I'm a mouser. I've forgotten all my keyboard commands. She did another thing where she highlighted this whole section for part 3. And if you get the edge, I usually do it on the bottom edge, but you can do it on any edge of that highlighted area then, and get that 4 arrow point. You can hold the left button on your mouse, and you can drag it wherever you want. I want to drag it to just next place over. So just need to get that little change from the big plus bar to that one with the 4 arrows, and then left, hold the left mouse key, and then you can move it around. And once you let go, it'll be in the new location. So use something that I like to do too. If I want to copy this X, typing, you can type in, when you've already got something you're going to use over and over, you can do a right-click copy, and I'm going to say all these people are done now. So I highlight that section. You can send, the copy thing will have little lines going around it so you can see that you've selected that. And I'm going to do a right-click paste, boom, and it just pops it in there. I like what she showed about, we got part 1, 2, and 3. Excel has built into it some smarts. It knows what to do. So if I wanted to grab the corner with a little black plus bar and hold it, we can drag it out and actually creates part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6. This keeps on going. I think we'll see this in one of the other videos with dates and with number ranges. Microsoft can kind of guess what you're doing and actually carry it on out. So
it's very useful when you're making like a monthly spreadsheet for every day.
yeah,
You put 1, 2, and drag to 30 or 31. It pops right there. That's very useful instead of typing the numbers.
I'll show you. This doesn't have anything in it. I'll show you one example, which is actually, I think, one of the things in the book. I'm just going to put in January 1st. And it formatted a certain way. If you look, it says 1 January here because it defaulted to a certain format. But up here you can see it says 1/1/2017. Now, if I grab the corner and get that little black plus bar, I can drag it down. It does, well, that's called a fill handle. And it decided I must mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it just continued that pattern out. I think we'll see this coming up, and I know we have this in the workbook too, so I won't go much further with that. I just wanted to let you play with this a little bit. I'm going to close this one now and not save it. And I'm going to show you 2 more videos, and then maybe we can take a break too, because I know it's going along here. So this will be about modifying columns, rows, and cells. And like I said, most of these have this same kind of setup where it'll give a little definition of it. You can actually open up the workbook that the presenter is showing us, and then below it, it actually has the step-by-step screenshots and everything about what that person did. So even if you don't understand it, a lot of times that can help walk through it.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
In Excel, every workbook is different. That means you may want to modify certain things, like the size and layout of your cell, to better fit the data you're working with. This column has been resized, for example, but not quite enough. Most of the text is still getting cut off. I'm going to increase the width a little bit more by positioning my mouse over the line in the column heading, then clicking and dragging it to the right. Another option is to auto-size the column. This will automatically adjust the width so that it fits the contents of the cells exactly. Just double-click the line instead of dragging it. Now the column is perfectly sized to the text. Rows work the same way. You can adjust them manually or auto-size them to fit the height of your text. Sometimes it's useful to be able to resize all of your cells at once. In this example, I'd like to make all of my rows the exact same height. To do this, click the Select All button in the top left corner. Then resize a row, it doesn't matter which one, and the change will be applied to the entire worksheet. Next, I need to add another row to this list. I'd like to put it in between row 4 and row 5. To add a new row, all you have to do is select the row heading below where you want the new one to appear. Then click the Insert command.
Or right click.
The process is similar for inserting a new column. Just select the column heading to the right of where you want the new one to go. Click the Insert command, and a column will appear to the left. Deleting columns and rows is just as easy. First, select the column or row you want to delete, then click the Delete command. The column or row will be deleted, causing the other cells to move and fill in the gap automatically. Just remember that there's a difference between clearing and deleting. Deleting cells removes them from your worksheet. Clearing just removes the contents. You can also move a column or row to a different location. In this example, we'll move a column. All you have to do is select the one you want, then click the Cut command. Next, select the column to the right of where you want the column to be moved. Click the Insert drop-down menu on the ribbon, then choose Insert Cut Cells. Another useful technique for rearranging data is the ability to hide certain columns or rows. For example, I don't really need to see these 3 columns right now. I'd rather focus on the customer's email addresses. If we right-click, then choose Hide from the menu, the columns temporarily disappear. To unhide them, select the columns on either side of the ones that are hidden, then right-click again, and choose Unhide. Let's fast forward to the finished worksheet. Next, I'd like to take a look at wrapping text, which is one way of addressing cells that contain more text than they can actually display. For example, I'd like to resize my column of addresses to about half its current size, but still be able to see the contents. We can do this using the Wrap Text command on the ribbon. As you can see, this displays the text on multiple lines. Now for the finishing touch, combining the cells in the top row so the title of my worksheet can be centered in a single large cell. To do this, select the cells you want to merge, then click the Merge and Center command. There, that's perfect. To access more merge options, open the drop-down menu here. You can merge across, creating merged rows instead of a single large cell if you have multiple cells selected. You can also merge without centering, or split your cells up again. There is a downside to using the Merge command, though. If you want to merge multiple cells, each containing data, Merge will only keep the contents of the upper left cell and discard everything else. So you should be careful when using this feature. The best way to learn about merging cells, wrapping text, and working with columns and rows is to practice. So the next time you're using Excel, look for ways that you can customize your worksheet to better fit your data.
So she had a lot of good things in that one, so I think we should play with this practice cell too. So this is number 6. So we click on that and click on the practice workbook one time. I sometimes click on it a number of times and I get a whole bunch of them across the bottom here. And it should put it in the bottom left corner there, and you can double click on it and open it.
Number what, number 5?
Number 6. It'll be the practice. Yeah, just click that. Oh, that's the earlier one, yeah.
This one?
Probably this one, the most recent one. Okay, so we've got this view. Now we get to click enable editing and that yellow bar up there again to make it work. She showed something about the quick access toolbar, and I didn't mention that. Now this big long thing up at the top is called a ribbon. I like the quick access toolbar, and it defaults to having a few things. It has save, undo, redo. I like to add one. She added a couple in that earlier video, but what I like to add is print, preview, and print, which just brings up one that looks like it has some magnifying glass. Because what that does, if you click on that, it shows you what it's going to look like in the print, when you print it. And there's lots of options in here too. In this case, you can see it's going to be 2 pages and only had the first 3 columns in it. If I click this arrow at the bottom, it shows the other 2. It's currently in portrait. I might be able to solve that by just changing it to landscape, which I can do here. Yeah, still didn't work. It's still missing 1 column. This is the backstage view, which I mentioned that earlier one. If I go back, if I click the arrow to go back, it just shows you the normal view. Now I can see a dotted line here going down this page. That shows me that, yep, you're going to be at least 2 pages the way it's currently set up. What I did by putting this print preview up here, you can actually do by going to the backstage view, which she showed us. So if you click on the file button there, it brings up this view. And one of the things in there is print in that green column. And it shows the same thing I did using that shortcut. And again, we can see same thing. Oh, I've got one column hanging over in the next page, which I probably wouldn't want. One of the things that they have built into Excel that isn't in the other tools is a thing called scaling. I like this, because with scaling, you can fit everything on 1 page. You can fit all the columns on 1 page. And by doing that, if it's just a slight change, by using scaling, fitting on 1 page, that's not too bad. The danger of that is you can do that and really get something that you can't read because everything will get too small. But just a slight change like this one did, yeah, that worked. I could also do something else like change the margins, but this one already has pretty skinny margins on it. So by just hitting fit all columns in, where it said no scaling, fitting all columns will do it. Actually, in this case, fit sheet to a page would do the same thing. There's not a lot of information there. Okay, that looks pretty good, but I'm going to go back to the normal view again. So I'm going to click the arrow at the top there.
Scale.
Yeah, that was under scaling. I like what she did, when you see that, like this column with the addresses, not everything's showing up. You can go up here and get this little funny looking thing with a 2-way arrow and a black bar. And if you hold your left mouse, you can drag it out. I like what she showed too. The auto size feature is you can get that bar again, you can double click and it'll just bring it into big enough size. She changed all the rows at once. And we can change rows or columns by using these buttons in between. But this one in the corner selects everything. You could do Control A too, and that would select everything too. And I like what she did then, because she just went to one of the rows, and it doesn't matter which one, and get that little black plus bar again. You can drag that, boom, and everything will change to this bigger view. So this probably is more than I would need. I got big rows. Yeah, I think you do too. But that's okay. And I like what she did to try to wrap things around. So I'm going to take column C and drag it in. Oops. This way, what I did with the print preview and changing the scaling, I wouldn't need to do if I did this. But then I'm going to click on the C at the top, which will select the whole column. Were you able to shrink it in a little bit? And then once we've shrunk it in, if we click the wrap text command up here, then it wraps everything around. And in this case, I think I can see all the information. Sometimes it might still have depending on how we do it, could leave something hanging. Just want to kind of check your view to see if you got it all in there. And now if I do my print preview, oh, by the way, those things on the quick access toolbar, she showed that little arrow next to it, which allows you to add different things. That's what I did. I just went there and clicked on this one. This is a short list of stuff. There's actually lots of commands. And sometimes for other purposes, you can click on the more commands and you can see that there's lots of different things you can add. If you use font color all the time, you can put font color up there. If you use, if you always add borders to your sheet. And this is actually a short list too, even though there's probably 100 here. This is popular commands. Clicking on this, all commands, ends up giving you a zillion commands that you could add. Most of the time you won't need to do much with that, but I just want to show you that that's out there. For me, I like save, undo, redo, and then print preview. Print preview is going to come in handy because when we're doing some practices later, it says to change margins or something, we could actually see what it does. So I like to have print preview up there. New feature in 2016 was that tell me what you want to do button, which is actually a cheat button. It's going to, you could go through, until you get real familiar with what's on different ribbons, you can just put in something in there and it would, give you the commands, would give you a list of the commands that you can pull up and walk you through it. So that's helpful. I don't want to use that right now though. I want you to get more familiar with what's on different ribbons and what we can do. And I think that's enough on this one. Would you like to have a break? I'm going to break for a bit. Sure, why not? Let's take a short break and then we'll get started again.
Okay.
I'm just going to close this and not save it, by the way. Otherwise, we'll end up with something that we don't need.
So I guess I close all of them. Oops, by accident. See, I was trying to close the other ones and I don't know what I.
That's all right. That
What is it?
clears out all of them. What we did was went to Google and just typed in GCF Learn Free in the
Right
search.
here.
Yeah.
GCS.
GCF. And the word learn free, just keep going with it and it'll probably bring it up. And it takes you to this, and like I said, they got lots of topics, but if you click on Microsoft Office
Thank you, sorry about
2016, then you can go into Excel and PowerPoint and things.
Okay.
So you're done with the medical coding and billing?
Yeah,
How
I
was
just
it?
need to, fill out the papers for the exam.
How was it, the class? Hard?
It's not easy.
Is that easy?
Did you just start it or you going?
I'm just starting. This is my first day.
So you're doing the medical right now? What are
And I'm
you?
like, I'm starting, he started with Excel, done any classwork. This is my first day, my first class.
With TJ?
This is my first instructor for anybody.
Okay. So probably you're gonna start with TJ,
Okay,
the medical part.
okay.
So, that's gonna be for a couple months,
Mm-hmm.
maybe more.
Mhm.
They are just, like anatomy and all the sicknesses and body parts and everything. And then it's a test that TJ gonna, if this is what it's doing.
Mhm.
And then, after that, you're gonna have classes for the ICD-10
Mhm.
and then CPT.
Mhm.
And, what I like about those codes, I like CD10 better than CPT, which you cannot do one without the
Yeah,
other.
okay.
It's logical.
Okay.
I mean, when you think how this book is built, and I tell everybody, read the introduction. I mean, really, that's like, if CPT had maybe 20 pages, but it's easier to navigate the book.
Okay.
It's really, I mean, it's worth giving the time.
Okay.
And CD10, I mean, that book like that, I mean, I'm not exaggerating.
Wow.
That spiral book like that, a professional.
Okay.
But again, you need to sit down and figure out why they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta go to the index, look for the sickness, for this, for whatever it is.
Mhm.
But at least you will know where to look in the book.
Mhm.
It's really worth time to go through the book, see all those indexes, the modifiers. There are a lot of information right in the book, even
Just
in
read
the
it.
covers.
Mhm.
But just keep the time to
Read
look through the book and read this.
Okay.
And then when you go to the CPT, when you go, and every chapter, when you have the muscular, cardiovascular, whatever, they have introduction,
Mhm.
how this is built, why this is built like that. Takes time, but it's worth reading.
Do it.
Do it.
With the back.
It's gonna save you time later on.
Okay.
I mean, makes you understand
Mhm.
better.
Mhm.
And you have probably the step-by-step book, maybe you don't have now.
The only book I got so far is a spiral book.
Medical.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I guess that starts after this class. or
Yeah,
something.
you need to know the medical, because then you know a little bit
Mhm.
better about the CPT and CD10.
Mhm.
So the medical, it's worth to do the tests,
Mhm.
because every chapter will have a test.
Mhm.
Telling you the truth, I only did the test that have the answers. For me to do the test, if you don't know if you do it right or not, it's missing the point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because you
And
still
the
don't know
answers.
if you do this
Also,
right
you
or
can
not.
check.
So
Make sure
wherever you don't have the answers, I'm not saying cheating, do the answers
No,
first,
right.
but
Have a reference.
have a reference
Yeah.
and then see if you did this correct. If
Mhm.
you cannot check this, that's, for me, it's just waste of my time, because I still don't know if I did this right.
Unless you go over in class or something.
And you don't go usually over it. If you have a specific question for the test, TJ will answer that,
Mhm.
but he won't go over 40 questions.
Mhm.
You have the questions and the answer with an explanation for.
Yeah, some part of them.
Yeah.
And that part I did,
Yeah, that's good, that's a better way to do it.
because then I can prove to myself
That
if
it's
I
correct.
get it or not.
Right.
If I don't have the right answer to see what I am wrong,
Mhm.
that's no point for me to do it. I mean, that's me.
Well, that's a waste of time. Thank you.
Good advice.
Yes.
What I'm showing you on the screen is actually a copy of your book. And one of the things in the schedule I gave you, way up at the top there, if you've got Microsoft Office 2016 at home, there's a link in here. And I emailed this to you, so you don't have to type it in. But this would open up those practices that are listed, by these chapter subsections over here. I'm just going to show you a little bit about that. So in the first chapter, we're going to be going through creating, managing worksheets and workbooks. And I'll just scroll down here. It goes through some basic things. The book is good. It's a little boring, and since you're not working and doing the things, it's hard to understand what they're asking for. But is it 14, I think is the first one. 14 gives you these practices, and these are good. Again, if you've downloaded the first couple are just creating worksheets, so it's not that difficult. If you're working at home and you don't have Excel 2016, then you'll have to log into one of these machines. And I can show you how to do that.
So we will have to come here.
Maybe 13.
No, you don't have to come here. We have a tool called Team Viewer that
Okay.
allows you to log in from your home computer.
I think mine may be 2013.
Mine's 13 at home, and
Yeah.
that was relatively new.
Yeah.
Now it's old.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I had 2010 until I started teaching these classes, and it all got me upgraded to 13. And we've been teaching 13 for a few years now, and now we've gone to 16. We'll do one practice here just to give you a flavor of it, because also on these machines, we've got a folder that has these practice files already saved. You can load it on your home computer if you got 2016, but if you don't, you can log in remotely to these and pull it up. I'm looking for one thing for myself. Oh boy, I did that at home. Yes, I did. What page is this? 14. I'm gonna print this one page up for myself. But I don't have to bounce back and forth looking for it. No, it's not 14, it's 31. It says 14. In your book probably, but it's
Yes.
31 in the, adding in all those introductory pages. Okay, so we're going to actually walk through what they're asking us to do here. So you can minimize that and that and that and that. And from your start screen, if you click in the bottom left corner there, it'll bring up the list of various kinds of tools and stuff. There's a most recently used list. Might not see it there. If you don't see it there, if you scroll down the list, find Excel 2016, you can click on that, and that'll open up Excel 2016. If you want to keep page 14 open, you can follow the instructions, but I'm going to walk us through them. So on the start screen, they want us to create a new workbook based on a built-in blank workbook template. And we're going to save it. So I'm on this home screen, so I'm just going to open a blank workbook. And it brings it up like this. They want us to save it and and call it my blank .xlx. You don't need to put the .xlx in there. I'm going to suggest saving it, and I'll show you where this is. Under, I'm doing a file save as, and I'm going to documents first.
In the browser or this PC? What did you
On your PC, see file, save as. I'm going to browse because I'm not finding it here. I'm going to see. Oh. What I'm looking for is desktop files and folders.
Under this PC is desktop.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it in mine.
I see it on mine. I went to the top under desktop and then it's a file.
Under
desktop files
Microsoft
and folders.
Excel, it's desktop.
Yeah, and then there's folder. Okay, I'm finally there. Desktop files and folders.
Mhm.
And there's a bunch of things in there. And I'm actually just going to save it at this point here because I think you could create a folder for yourself if you want. Actually, that's probably a good idea. So I'm right clicking on this open space. I got a bunch of different things in there. Actually, I got one called new folder. I'm going to put it in there. But you could set up a folder and give it a name. As a matter of fact, I'm going to rename this new folder.
This key is stuck.
It's stuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
when that happens.
Okay, maybe something.
I don't have nothing
Sticky
to
or
desktop folder.
Double click in there.
Oh, open that one.
Yeah. It's actually a shortcut.
Oh,
And the numbers block is blocked.
I know.
Is that
And actually-
on purpose?
Create up here, right click in the open space first and new folder and create a folder for yourself. Just give it your name.
It may be on purpose because the numbers block is stuck. It's stuck. So is that one.
Oh, man. That's not good. We might need to
They didn't change computers.
change
Oh,
computers.
That's a my blank, right?
I'm sorry. What happened there?
That's my might have spelled something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Years ago, I worked at UPS.
Mm.
And we had one computer that we used in the office for all our inside operations. We were loading, unloading packages and writing, making reports. And one night, we were 3 shifts, we were around the clock, because this was in Chicago. One night I came in, or one morning I came in, and the keyboard was sticky.
Mhm.
I saw an empty Coke can. Did I use that one or this
I
one?
can see.
I saw an empty Coke can there.
Oh.
And I started to hold the keyboard and it just seemed to be sloshing. I got a wastebasket next to it. I think they
No.
dumped a whole
And nobody
can.
thought to clean it out?
They didn't clean it up right, like
Sticky.
poured out this whole can of Coke from the keyboard.
They were working.
It was still working, but I think we had to do a big cleanup or maybe even
By a new
throw
one.
out that keyboard.
Because the key was
I'm like,
sticky.
oh man, they always said, don't eat food or drink near your
Yeah,
computer.
that's why. That's the reason why.
Yeah, I mean, now, we have coffee in here and I don't mind doing it, but I
Yeah, maybe
I
not.
learned my lesson back then, though. Don't get too close to it.
Okay, let's see, where are we now? We need to be in this.
So we go in this PC documents, our new folder, and then my blank, right?
My blank, yeah.
And then save it, that's how
Yeah,
we
that's what
want.
we're gonna do.
I'm going number 6, right?
Yeah, you can close this, we're not gonna be using. We're not using it, just need to open up the,
Oh, okay, so we better.
yeah, blank Excel. It's not, oh, it is good.
Oh, I mean, made a folder.
Yeah, that's where eventually we're gonna put it though.
Oh, okay,
So yeah, just let the Excel
Oh,
open up
I'm sorry.
first
okay.
and click on the blank. And now I'm gonna save as. And, yeah, browse and see if we can find that,
The documents.
click on desktop first.
Oh, that's where I found it for.
And then desktop files and folders, it's a shortcut into it.
Okay.
And then go ahead and create a folder for yourself here first. So right here, right click, there. And just give it your name. Now we're going to save into that folder. Mine says book one right now, so I'm going to change it to be my blank. It's just one, no space, and it's just my blank. Blank. Now they want us to open up another workbook on a new page. All I'm going to do is file new. So we're actually creating another workbook. So this time, instead of a blank one, we want a mortgage refinance calculator. Now it might be in my list here, but I think it's easier in that top part where it says,
Like the template?
yeah, to actually type in mortgage refinance. Typing well today. Finance calculator. And then you can hit enter or click on it. And it's probably going to bring up one example.
Yeah, the blue one.
Yeah. So you click on that and create it.
Create.
Go ahead and create it. And then it wants us to save this one. So we're going to save it in that same folder. So if you do a file save as, you'll probably see your folder in that recent list. You can click on that, and we're going to call it My Calc. So My Calc. Simple little name. Now we've got two files saved in our folder. Now they want us to actually open up one of the practice files. So we're going to do a file open. And you might have to search a little bit for this. It should be under the desktop folders.
Open, that's going to be under PC, huh?
Let's see.
Okay, so we'll get save there.
Under desktop, you should have that one link that says desktop files and folders.
Under open?
Let's see, I gotta fix this. No.
Oh dear.
Documents. Recover.
I think they got removed. I'm not quite sure why.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
It's just under this,
There should be a folder out there that says Microsoft Excel 2016. I'm not seeing it on mine either. I think it got removed from our server, which is this guy up here.
I don't see it. That's not no files under Microsoft Excel. No, I want to search.
I'm going to see if I can back us into this. Should be a folder that looks like my MS Excel 2016. And it was supposed to be saved, it was saved on our server, which is this one up here. Oh, I'm seeing it here. That's strange. I'm puzzled. This is what's showing.
Because we're going save and open, right? This PC, right? That's
No, we're browsing. We're going to browse. And we're looking for, supposed to be under desktop files and folders.
Mine worked.
Desktop files and
MS
folders.
Office files,
Yeah, MS Office files. And then if you click on that, I think you're going to see
MS 16. There are two of them, expert and,
We want just the regular Excel.
the object.
Something's-
Copy,
Yeah, something's wrong on mine. I'm gonna have to pull it off my disk.
yeah, that's how, one objective.
Now, yeah, this is a good thing for me to show you some too. There's going to be a list of things in there. There'll be Excel 1-1, Excel 1-2, and then there's some other folders in there that say results. Results are actually the answer sheets, which is something new in this version. But older version, they never gave us the answers, so we were guessing too on what was right or wrong. I had to put together my ones that I got KD on it. So these are 95% right, but I wasn't quite sure. And we've discovered that it's great that they put the results in there, but some of them have been wrong.
Oh,
So
wow.
normally I'll just show you what we're going to be using. So we want to open up Excel 1-1 though. That's what we're going for, which will look something like this.
Mm.
Now they're asking us to move something up. This is an interesting one too, because if you look at the very bottom
Now,
there,
where are you? You on the except, okay,
did you find, so we're going to open,
okay.
you might have to browse.
Here's,
This is your, yeah, this is your folder. Click on desktop and desktop files and folders and Microsoft Office
Oh,
files,
yeah,
MS
okay.
Office files.
I missed that part, okay.
Oh, why is it doing that? No, I don't want to, I don't know why it's asking for a password. Cancel this. Just scroll down a little bit, see if there's something else in the list. There isn't. I don't know what got, something got changed on here since I was here before.
Okay.
I'm gonna plug this into your computer. I think. There we go. It's gonna bring up another list of things. And now I click on Excel 2016. And the middle one there. So, yeah. And objective 1 is the same as chapter 1. It's got objective 1, 2, 3. Now you want Excel 1-1.
Here.
Yeah. And it's got a list of things, product Alice Mutton and some great stuff in there. The thing I wanted to show you is this is considered one file or workbook. If you look at the bottom, there's 4 tabs in there. Each of these tabs has something different in it. So we've got 4 tabs with information in there. In this case, though, they don't want us to do much with that right away. They want us to take this first one, source data, and we're going to make a copy of this. We're just moving it, and we're putting it, oh, okay, we're just moving it first. So we get these 4 tabs down here. If you click on source data and hold it with your left side of the mouse, it turns in this little, it's like a little piece of paper, and you can actually drag it over, and there's little arrows moving over. I'm getting over here, and I let go of it, and it moved it to the left. So move the source data to the end. It's probably like our data. We don't really need to have it showing on the screen. We're going to be working with these other tabs more, other worksheets. Then basically all they ask us to do is save these and then pull up the 1-1 results to take a look at them. We won't do that right now, but I wanted to just get you a little bit familiar with how the practice files are set up here. And if you've got 2016 on your home computer, you can pull that in. I'll give you some links too about using TeamViewer, which allows us to log into these machines from anywhere. And To load TeamViewer on your home computer takes about a minute or two.
Oh.
And then allow you to log into these machines. I'll actually give you a little demonstration of that right now, just so you can see what it would be like. So for now, I'm just going to close this, not save it.
Are we closing this too?
Yeah, we're going to just close everything. It's just kind of opening up and giving you an example there.
How about the mortgage file?
Yeah,
Close it too?
yeah, you can close everything. Now these computers all have TeamViewer 12 on them. So I'll give you some screenshots of this too, but this is what TeamViewer would look like once you've loaded it. And this center section here has a 9-digit number put in there, and that's what we're actually going to be putting in. I don't know if this has been used before, so this might be a good one. So I'm going to click Connect to Partner. It'll bring up a dialog box, and the dialog box password is MITS 2013. In this case, not that one. That's strange. Okay. Let me not use that one. I'm using one from Gurney because I don't think anybody's working in that one right now. We'll find out. So it brings up this dialog box. It's almost always MITS 2013. There's a couple computers here in Oak Brook that are MITS 2013 capitalized. And what this has done is logged me into this computer in Gurney, which is nice. Don't care about that. There's this little box in the corner. It'll show me, it shows a PC down here, which is the PC ID for this computer I'm on. If you log into some place and somebody else is doing work on it, you'll be able to see that. And just be courteous and go to another computer. But what I've got here then is the same thing where I've got desktop files and folders, and I can click on this. And here's the Microsoft Office practice tests. And it's got these various ones. Excel 2016 is the one we're using right now. Objective 1. Oh, it's got my answer ones in there too. So if you see KD in there, that's one I put together. So 1-1 was the one we just opened up. And the rest for this one are in here. So you can pull up the files we need from there. This result one would show us the results of our, let's open this up to show you what it looks like. But it's just what we just walked through. That's, if we're not doing it together, you can use the result ones most of the time to see what they did that's right. So in this case, we can see that they moved the source data tab from the start to the other side. Not too hard, not too complex. Now when I'm done, if I just click out of it, then it'll bring up a dialog box like this, and you just click OK, because you don't want to buy the, oh yeah, when you load TeamViewer at home, make sure you load the free version and not the one that is, TeamViewer is used by companies to do joint meetings where they can all log into the one computer and see presentations and stuff. So it's used like a lot of other tools like WebEx or GoToMeeting, some of those other things. You want to keep the free version. But a few students load the other one, and after 30 days, they said, okay, time to pay.
Right.
Wait, no, I don't want to pay. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to give you a handout that has, I should mail this to you too, I didn't do this. This lists the computers in our 3 offices that have these practices on them. And I'll have to check the Oak Brook ones because it seems like somebody changed something up because we don't have the access we should. But most of the time, and on the desktop, you know, we've got all these icons, but there is one on there that says desktop files and folders, and that should take you right to one that shows the folders, even though mine doesn't show them.
So this is the computer that we're gonna log in, right? The number of the computer, actually.
Yeah, when you use TeamViewer, this center section here where it has that 9-digit number, it'll be one of those numbers. In this case, I put in 362-624-8287.
So on our computers, then when we open up this, then we're gonna have the team viewer too?
You're gonna need to load TeamViewer on your home
the
computer.
TeamViewer, okay.
That's why on this sheet I just gave you, at the top, it has a couple links. But actually, if you didn't have the links, you can just Google TeamViewer.
TeamViewer,
And
and
it'll
then
say
free download, the
download,
free
yeah.
copy.
So you can do it that way. But I've got 2 links there for Windows computers and Mac computers. And I'll email this to you too, so you'll have that. I wanted to show you how you could log into these machines. Now, what we're going to do is use my favorite tool, which is Gmetrics. And on your, you can close down everything we're just done now.
Okay.
And when you get back to the home screen, you'll see there's a little icon up there, blue with some lines on it and stuff. It says Gmetrics Skills Management. If you double click on that, I've got some pictures to show you too. Actually, I have a handout here that has the information on TeamViewer. This too. It just shows you the pictures of TeamViewer and what it looks like. Now we're going into Gmetrics. So I'm going to give you some screenshots of this, but we're going to walk through this first too, because I'm going to need to give you an access code for this. So right now we're at this screen showing Gmetrics. And normally this is where we'd sign in, but before we sign in, you're going to need to go below where it says sign up and click on that. It's going to ask you for a lot of your information, name, email, that kind of stuff. So go ahead and fill it out, and then I'm going to give you an access code. This is, you only need to do this one time. Oh, find Illinois on our list. The key thing on getting set up in here is keep a simple username and password. I just use my email for my username. You want to keep it fairly simple. I've had some students create things.
Oh, yeah, it put it in there automatically for the username.
Yeah, both automatically.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What's it calling its username?
Put email.
Oh, you put your email in there?
And it
Yeah, and
Oh,
put
okay.
automatically.
And that made it your username too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Keep your password something that you can remember. It's simple. I had one student that created a thing that was, I think, 25 characters. He kept forgetting what it was, and he wrote it in his
Really?
book,
Yeah.
but it still cost him a lot of grief. He had to keep looking it up. I said, keep it simple. Keep it simple. you're at the point where we need to help you.
Okay.
So, access codes, if you click on this, brings up an open box. What I'd like you to type in is this whole long thing here with the dashes, and it's not case sensitive, but it's GMX MOS for the letters in the middle there.
Create, right? You gotta click on create.
I'm gonna give you an access code.
Create.
Is it 0 or O?
Yeah, create.
0 or O?
It's an O.
Okay.
It's MOS.
Oh, MOS, okay. MOS.
Four.
You want me
Oh, I'm
to do-
sorry, 3.
Okay.
Wrong one.
Let me pick 5179. MOS 3, okay.
3.
Dash 29492. Okay.
Double check, make sure it looks exactly as it does there.
Dash
Otherwise, it'll say no.
X.
Finish.
29492. Okay.
And then access code.
Okay, yeah, and access code. And I want you to type in, you gotta sign in first. So this, you get to use your email and your login. We only need to do that once every year. This one version we've got right now will expire next March. So we'll have it for a while. And once you get it in there, once it's there, like in my case, it's there. I don't need to do anything with it. So if I go back to the home screen, they've improved this a lot. I like it.
Access code. So this is the last one.
Yeah, the last one, exactly as it is there. And the center part here, those are letters, GMX,
Or the
MOS.
dashes.
Yeah, and the dashes too. Unfortunately, we only have to do this once.
And this is allowing us to do what?
This is getting us into geometrics, which is the practice tool we're going to use a lot.
Okay.
The exercises in the book are good, but this will be easier to use in a lot of ways. And now you're both in there, so let me get caught up with you. So what we're going to click on when you haven't just logged in like you just did will be new test. And it brings up all these different boxes. It defaults to 2016, but there's actually 13, 10, a lot of stuff in the tool. But we're using 16 now. So we'll click on Excel. And we're doing it in the training mode most of the time. If you're going to go for certification later,
So training, okay, right?
yeah, training mode. Later, we'll use the test mode when we want to actually go for the Microsoft certification. And it's going to bring up a list of things. These are the different tests. They have 3, they've got 3 tests that they've created called exam training 1, 2, 3. Then below that, there's 5 tests that I've created that are specific to our chapters. So the one that says Excel 2016-1, create and manage worksheets and workbooks is the one we're going to start with because that's for chapter 1. So you click on that. It may ask you a yes or no question or cancel. Go ahead and click yes. It's just updating it, bringing in some information.
The chapter 1, right? Exam
Yeah.
1, training.
This one here.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, that one. Double click it.
Um,
And go ahead and hit yes and okay to those
Yeah.
questions that pop up. It's basically just updating things.
so yes.
Yes again. And then okay. Eventually, you'll get into the screen where I am. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
And this just gives you some basic information on it.
We want this back.
Oh, thank you. Right now, we're not that interested in different categories and stuff. It's just showing that there's 74 questions in this one. And passing score, if you're going for certification, 70%. they've set up these tests to have 1,000 points, so passing would be 700 points. Again, we're not concerned about that right now because we're just using it for learning. So if you click Start Test, it'll take you to the next screen. And I'll explain this a little bit. What you're going to have is a two-part setup. So at the bottom will be some instructions, and at the top will be a file. So in this case, it says in the annual sales worksheet, use the Find and Select tool to find a cell in the open worksheet that has conditional formatting. A bunch of stuff we haven't really talked about, but we'll walk through it together.
Okay.
And while we're here, though, we could skip questions or reset. Next would take us to the next question, but we don't want to do that yet. The little icons in the corner, there's a Save button, one that would allow us to look at all the different questions. And then my favorite little one, the light bulb, which will tell you how to do that particular thing. In this case, since we're going together, we'll work through it. So Find and Select is on the home ribbon, way over on the right side. You see it up there?
Yeah.
And so what we're doing, there's a basic Find and Select. Sometimes you want to look for a word and maybe replace it with another word. You can use that. In this case, we want to do something different though. We want to go, not that one. There's a pull down there.
Okay, mine went away, let's see.
Cancel. We're not actually going to do one of these things at the top. The Find and Replace is the typical one we use, but we want to go down the list there. There's a conditional formatting. You see that on your list?
I think it went off my ribbon, I can't get it back. I went to hit Find and Select, and it took the drop-down box, and then I couldn't get it back up.
Click on the box up there. It should make it full screen. Oh, I see what happened. Your ribbon has disappeared. So this little button here, yeah, that guy, choose Show Tabs and Commands. Boom. And that's
Oh, there it is, okay, because it was there,
That's
okay.
why I don't like that.
And I hit this, and then for
Yeah.
some reason, this,
Oh, you might have just bumped the other one. So pull down there,
okay.
conditional formatting. And what we're looking for is a conditional formatting. It's actually going to take us, and it's a little hard to see, but it took us to this box down here at the bottom,
Okay,
total. And what they want us to do is make a thick box border around it. The borders are actually under this font section at the top here.
So the last one, the
Yeah, the last one in the
guy
corner.
with the red dot on
It's-
it,
Right below that is F16, I think. It's in the,
F16, okay.
yeah,
oh, just that one
Yeah, the
box,
total, F16.
yeah.
okay.
And what they want us to do is put a box around it. Under that font section, there's one that looks like a little line under it. If you click the pull down there, you'll see there's all sorts of borders in there.
Uh-huh.
There's a thick outside border, though. That's what we want to use.
Okay,
If you click on it, it's hard to see it. That's why sometimes I'll click outside of the box. And then you can see, oh yeah, put a black box around that one. That's all they ask us to do this one. So we can click on Next at the bottom.
oh, okay.
And it'll give us either a green checkbox and say you got it right, or a red X, and we could retry it if we got it wrong.
Oh,
But we'll just click Continue. If you got it right. I assume you
Oh,
did.
how come I got red one?
Oh, you got the right one? Okay, let's go back and retry then.
This box, right?
Yeah, that box, and under the pull down here with the
Oh, okay, I
lines.
went up to the,
Yeah, you can do it that way too, but this is, I think, a little easier. Thick outside borders. And if you click someplace else, you can see what it did.
see what I did, I went here and there was a border line and I pick up the.
Microsoft, again, makes 2 or 3 ways to do the same thing, but Gmetrics sometimes only wants it one way.
that,
And
So that way is the correct way.
that's,
Because what I did, I went to the page layout when you have the whole, the arrow down here, this, and then that's what I picked border. See on the border on top?
Yeah.
And I click the line and then on the outline. See on top?
yeah,
The outlines will give you, the middle one. That's what I did.
but we don't know if this is the thick border or
The
not.
thickness that they want,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Now, if we were in that question, didn't know what to do, we click on the light bulb, and again, the light bulb will bring up this little help box and just walk us through what we need to do. And most of the time, the help box is pretty clear. Once in a while, it's a little confusing.
Also, we need to do that way they want it, otherwise it's wrong.
Most of the time, we can do it 2 or 3 different ways, and it would get us to the same spot. Once in a while, Geometrics wants it just one way. And if you get it wrong and go back, that's when we could use the help button to see, okay, which way did they exactly run?
Okay, so we're doing the save or continue? Or?
We're doing continue or next. It'll bring up the next question. By the way, in the bottom corner here, it says 2 of 74. So we've done one question. There's this other box here too. Sometimes this ribbon gets in the way, and you can actually click on this and move it to the top of the page. Put the thing up there. I usually leave it at the bottom, but once in a while you see, oh, I can't see what I'm supposed to look at. So you can use this to move it from the top or dock it to the bottom.
But then you can see all of the information with that.
Hopefully, well, that's,
Yeah, at the bottom there.
I think it's better at the bottom. So they want us to add a comment saying full name to J34. J34,
J4.
or J4, I'm sorry, yeah. J4 is where it says K
Full name. Do they want a heading or what's this comment though?
It's a comment. There's 2 ways to do comments. I'll show you my favorite because I'm a mouser.
Okay.
I would just right click on it, and down the list there it says insert a comment.
Oh.
If you click on that, it brings up this dialog box with that little red triangle in the corner.
Oh.
And all we're doing is typing in what they ask us to see. Full name. In this case, there is a space in there. Sometimes if there's not a space, you got to do it just the way they want.
And then just click out of it.
And when you've got it, you'll get that little red triangle in the corner, and you don't see anything unless you hover over. If you just hover over that cell, then you'll see it'll say full name.
Okay.
How we doing? Got it?
I don't have the red dot, I just.
Oh, okay. Right click on that cell. Stay in the cell and right click on it. Yeah, and then down here is insert comment. It brings up this box, and then you can type in full name. Okay, let's retry. Yeah, you need to type in what it asks for. It asks for full name to be typed in there. So right click, insert comment, and type in this box here.
All right, okay, that's.
Yeah, type in that box. I think I can go back to it. Just click out and click in again, and that box will pop up. It's, yeah. Oh. Okay, I guess since it wants to close, right click on it and edit comment, because right now it's created, but it's not, there's nothing in it yet. Edit comment, now you can type in there.
Wouldn't make a difference if you just pick up the cell and type this full name? I mean,
Well,
for the
the cell-
spreadsheet, for the cell, there will be no difference.
Well, we don't want to get rid of K-enable, we want to have this comment. And when you
Okay,
first, when you
so
first
if
create,
you just pull up a cell and type something, we'll override
yeah, it
what's
would
in the
override
cell
it.
already.
It would, instead, we would put full name in there where K-enable is. And then we can hit next.
And it's wrong.
No, how can that be?
I don't know.
Let's try again. Retry.
That's the right cell.
Yeah, and right click,
Insert
Insert
comment.
and now right away type over here. See, the cursor went over there.
Full name, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and just click in any place in the open space. And if you hover over that cell again, you'll see this got full name. Next. Okay, good. We use a fictitious name of a company called Fusion Tomo. You're gonna get tired of it after a while because you see it here, and if you do Word and PowerPoint, the Fusion Tomo comes up again. It's just their made-up company name. So it says annual sales worksheet, apply a hyperlink to the name, the title, Fusion Tomo. So it's on Fusion Tomo right away. There's a couple ways to insert hyperlinks. We could use the insert tab at the top. Again, I'm a mouser. I like to right click on it. And down at the bottom of that long list is link. I'll bring up this.
So you went to the, line 1.
Yeah, I'm on line 1. I right clicked.
Oh,
And way at the bottom of my list is link. Another way to do it, if you did the insert button at the top, way over on the right, there's a link button there too. This allows us to put in hyperlinks, and there's a number of different ways to do it. This is more straightforward. We're adding a web page here, so I'll leave it on this first tab. But down here, there's a place for an address. This is where we need to type in www.fusiontomo.
Typing.com.
Okay. So in the address place, we're typing in www.fusiontomo.com.
And then,
Then OK. And when we do it, you'll see it changed the title to a blue title.
are you hitting hit enter after you typed it in? Because it's not, what are you hitting?
Pull this box up a little bit. It's hiding on you. So grab just open space in there and you can pull it up. Here's the OK.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the problems with the tab at
Okay.
the bottom. Sometimes
Yeah.
it hides things.
Okay, this turn blue.
And it's turned blue, and if you hover over it, you'll see it actually says, if you hover over it, it'll give you that link that we just put in.
Okay.
So that's a hyperlink.
Oh, mine was wrong.
Oh, okay.
So let me go back.
Oh, gee, I got right.
Very good, very
Now
good.
it's your
Okay,
turn now
so
to read.
I went here,
Mhm.
right click.
Okay.
Went down here.
Yep.
Link.
I'm dragging the box up. so you
Yeah,
can see the-
okay, here, I typed in here. Oh,
You type this in that box.
right,
there.
that's what I did. Hold on, maybe I didn't. I said FUSHIONTOMO.com.
And OK.
Okay,
Maybe it did something typed misspelled or something.
yeah, maybe yeah. Mhm.
What do you mean wrong?
Apply hyperlink, let's see. Should I go to light bulb? See what I did wrong?
I don't think you did anything.
Okay, so
Go ahead. Yeah, right click.
right click there,
Link.
link. www.
It automatically put it in there. So actually, if you,
If I go,
because it saved it on the computer.
so I should go, okay,
Yeah, click at the end there and OK.
okay,
I don't know why it's saying it's wrong.
let me see what it tells me. We have to go light bulb, so it doesn't.
Okay.
Maybe it's,
They might have told you to do the insert hyperlink, but
Okay,
it
let's
worked for me though.
let's see.
Yeah, saying to do it the other way.
Okay, so
So-
go to,
The top, if you click on the insert tab,
okay,
and way over here is link.
oh, okay,
This is the other way to do it.
oh,
It brings up the same box, so I don't know why it's saying.
okay. But like she was saying, won't you do it their way, you know?
But, you
Which is
know,
fine.
but it said mine was okay though.
Oh.
If it doesn't work, we'll just go on anyway. Let's just hit
You shouldn't
continue.
do capital letter?
No, it should be just as it is there.
Let's see.
Once in a while, there's a couple questions that I've actually sent to Geometric saying, you know, it says it's wrong, but we've done it the way the instructions said, we've done it over and over, it didn't say there's a problem. Look very carefully to see if it's spelled exactly the same way.
It's not.
Okay,
See, it's H on here.
okay. See if we can take the H out of
I
there.
might put the H when I first typed it initially in this
Oh,
capital.
and it kept saying it. Yeah.
I bet you'll work now.
All right, good.
Yeah. Gotta pay attention.
Change the view to split screen view. Split screen is a tool I don't like to use. There's one I do like to use, which is called freeze pane.
Yeah.
But under the view tab, you'll see there's a section there that says split and freeze panes.
Yeah.
If you click on split, what it does, it puts lines across the page here. What's interesting though is what it's done is created mirrored images. So I've got this one at the top. If I click down here, I can see the same thing. You can actually do the same thing on the right. Split screen's handy if you got a long spreadsheet and want to keep some things going there. Personally, I'm not real fond of, we'll see, freeze panes come up later. I like freeze panes.
Yeah, because then you can move it.
You can, like if you wanted to keep this title row.
What would you use this for, the split screen?
If you're doing some work at the top and some, say way down the page, you were doing some other things, you could use it that way. Like I say, I never use that much.
So the split screen is if you have a document with a lot of information on it, but you may need to work at the top of the list and the bottom at the same time.
List, yeah. Or
How come you can just do it in the full screen? Why would you need to have it so you can see it quicker maybe?
Yeah, if you wanted to have it in your screen so you could see line 205 and do some typing in there, and also line 10 or something like that.
Oh, okay, so that goes to 32, and then this one.
See,
but this one.
They're mirrored images of each other.
Oh,
they're
they
exactly
are the same. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay, all right.
And I'll say next, and we'll get the green check. Sometimes they'll tell you a specific spot to put that in, and they didn't with that one. Create a new worksheet based on an expense report sample template. That's why it's blank at the top.
We'll go to file.
We're going to go File and New. You might see this, but you might not in the things already saved here. I kind of remember what it looks like. It's got an orange hint to it. So I'm just going to type in the search line up there, expense report. And hit enter. Searching thousands of reports. There's one called, there's a lot of expense reports too, but there's one just called expense report.
Yeah.
And click on that and create it. And that's all they ask us to do with this one. Some of the questions get a little more complex, but this one's not too bad at this point. So hit next and it should take us.
Yeah, kind of bring it, okay.
Change the theme. Themes are interesting. What a theme is basically a set of colors and fonts and styles. And in this view, we can't really see it, but if you look real closely on line 3, there's like a green line and a above and below that. Themes are going to be under page layout, which is a tab at the top, 2 over from home. And the very first section are themes. They've got some preset themes already created. So there's one, Office is one of the typical ones used. And actually, if you hover over them, you get to see what it looks like. You can, if you look at my picture, you can kind of see as I hover over it, it changes the font styles and the colors. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. I want Ion, which actually creates a dark red line, a couple others. It changed the font style some too.
I don't have.
Yeah, the first,
Oh, it's up here.
Yeah.
Is that alphabetical? Oh, I thought it was alphabetical because I was stuck, looking down here like B, C, D.
Yeah.
Oh, it's up here. Okay.
And there's actually an eye on something else. But
Okay. It's specific.
Black bread books. Wants us to hide column A. So what I do for this is I get on the A at the top there, and then you get a little black arrow pointing down. You can right click, and down at the bottom of the list is hide. Oof, get that column away. So that's all they're asking us to do on this one. She showed that example where she hid away 3 columns, and then when she just wanted to look at the emails. Freeze the first column of the current worksheet. So here's the one I like better. So I'm going to stay up there, and under the View tab, there's a Freeze Panes, and Freeze Panes has 3 different categories. Freeze Panes will freeze both row and column, and there's the top row or first column. So they want first column, so I'm going to use that one. And when you do it, it doesn't look like anything's happened. But if you scroll over, you'll see that it keeps the names in that first column, and everything else moves over. And this is a small sheet, but if it had like 50 columns in there, you could always see the names as you moved over. So I like freeze pane a lot better than the split one.
Oh, okay.
We can use it. We could use it. Well, we'll have a different example coming up, but we could freeze the top rows too. Like if we always wanted to show the headers for that, this, you know, Q1, Q2, Q3, we could have that on every page. It was a big worksheet. I get myself in trouble sometimes because I'll demonstrate some things and I'll get it wrong because I did 2 things I didn't ask for. Now here we're going to actually see where the theme changes things. They want us to use the ion theme again. So it's under page layout. I like the fact that once you have a certain theme up there, you can actually see the preview as you're hovering over these different things. Ion's going to make it lots of red. Now they want us to save the spreadsheet as a PDF, and we're going to see that we've got a folder sitting down there under documents called My Geometrics Templates, which is where we're going to every once in a while save something to.
Okay.
So we're going to do a file save as, and she showed exporting and making a PDF, but there's another way to do it too. We can just do file save as, and you might see Geometrics Templates in your list there. If you don't, probably have to go to Documents, and then under Documents, you'll see the folder. Now, if I just save it right now, it's going to keep it as an Excel sheet, but I don't want to do that. So the name is the same, Excel 05. Right below where it says Excel Workbook, there's a pull down there, a long list of things. So we want to make it a PDF. Go ahead and save. I forgot to turn it off. It said, do not open. I opened it. there was a little checkbox for that.
And we need to save it, right? Otherwise.
Yeah. Oops. Closed too much. Oh, I guess it didn't.
It didn't happen so fast, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
I was looking for,
There was a little checkbox in there. If you want to actually preview it and see what it looks like, you can leave that checkbox checked, and it'll open up and show you what it looks like. Otherwise, it's just saved it to that folder. Yeah, we can't see what happened. So this one has a couple comments. If we didn't see those little teeny,
On the red magic.
if we didn't see those little red triangles, we could just do the find and select and go to comments, and would actually take us to one of those. In this case, it took me to trouble under F15. And I can right click and delete the comment, and it'll take it away. Actually, it took them both away. Oh, because it didn't highlight both of them when I did it that way. So when you're all done, you should not see any triangles in there. If you weren't sure, you could click on the Find Comments again, and it would tell you, oh, those cells were found. Okay, good, I got them all gone. Some other stuff. Sometimes it's better to close everything else you've got open, because otherwise you get confused with some things. 12, change the theme to Office. Been a couple of themes here. sometimes get into, since I've chosen all the questions related to our chapter 1 topic, we get sometimes the same question in different forms, which is okay, because it
That's how you learn.
helps to see more where those are.
Yeah.
They want us to just use the office theme, which I believe is the default theme normally. So if we started a brand new spreadsheet, we would use office. Just made everything nice and green. So we're going to do a find and select on this next one. And data validation will be one of those things in that list of stuff. And probably took you to B2 and Anton.
Mine says no cells were found.
Are you on the source data tab of the worksheet?
Agreement, at the bottom, source data.
Yeah.
So find
Yeah,
and
source data.
select.
I thought I was, let me go back.
Data
Is it actually-
validation.
A data validation?
On Anton, right?
Anton, yeah. Now, if you right click on Anton
Oh, okay.
and list there, I think it'll say
Clear the validation.
clear validation, yes. Well, maybe you already cleared.
No, I got clear content.
No, I
don't
didn't-
have
I
clean
didn't- I didn't- I was
validation.
not
either.
there.
Okay, let me retry it so we can see. Data validation, so it took me there, and when I right clicked on it, I'm not seeing it. How do you do that?
Clear, I just have the clear content.
Okay, we don't want to clear contents, because we're not trying to get rid of Anton.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do find and select again and data validation. And it took me there. Now, the way they did it was actually go to the very top to the data tab.
Okay.
And then way over, there's some data tools, and one of them's called data validation.
Uh-huh.
There's a pull down there. And if you click on data validation again,
Okay.
it brings up a dialog box,
Okay.
and we can clear
And where did you find this? On the page layout or
under data at the top.
data? Okay.
And it's over towards the right side, right, a little right of center, data validation, and then data validation again. I don't know why they did that. And then we're just going to clear all. I think that should do it.
Okay.
And okay.
I don't see that.
Okay.
Data again?
Data validation, yeah. And there's a pull down there, and data validation again.
Worked.
And then down here, clear all, and okay.
See,
It worked, but I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these things, I never use data validation,
Never
so
used
Well,
it.
before, why
Well,
would
what's,
you want
yeah,
to
what's
use
this validation is
data
doing?
validation,
Never used this before, that's why.
Yeah.
Doing.
and I don't use it either, so I'm not quite sure. I guess if you had some formulas or something that, no, there wasn't any formula in there, it was just Anton. But if you wanted to make sure that the formula was correct, you might be able to check your formula to see if you had that right, or if it was pulling from the right cells.
That went so quick, I don't even know how that was about.
Yeah,
Interesting.
In the source data, where should I hide any hidden bugs? In the source data.
source data worksheets, that's our first one again. They sometimes start out on the wrong worksheet, so you have to look around. And this is a good example of what you can see, because if you follow numbers, now it goes 1 through 14, and all of a sudden jumps to 21. And that's actually the space where we've got some things hidden.
Yeah.
So, for the columns or the rows, a lot of times you can see something like that. It'll help you see where things are missing. So I'm going to click on 14 and then drag down to 21.
Oh, that's how you do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's how I do it.
okay.
And I'm gonna right click and unhide. And you should see a bunch of rows show up that are green background.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so it went 14, okay.
Yeah, so now they're showing up and they've actually made it easier for us to see by making them with that light green background. So we unhid them.
Yeah.
The thing about these questions, you're getting little bits and pieces that are all over chapter 1. That's why if you can, I would go back and read through chapter 1.
Okay.
If you have time, do some of those practices.
And we can do this exercise at home as well, right?
Yeah. If you're gonna use, if you have 2016 at home, you can load geometrics on your home computer. And
Now we can do it here.
yeah, if you can't, yeah, then you log in here using TV or UCs. Change the options in the worksheet so the grid lines are visible. This is a backstage view. We didn't get to look at options too much. They showed us a little bit. Options is a button way down at the bottom of that green bar. And there's lots of things they'll have us do back here. But on the,
Where are you now?
I went to the File tab at the top
Oh, okay.
and brought up this big
Oh, yes.
backstage view.
Okay.
And then options at the bottom. And there's general, which I think this will be under. There's formulas, proofing, saving, a bunch of other things out there. But in this list, sometimes you can't see everything. There's a longer list. You can scroll down to see things below. Actually, I'm sorry, it's the wrong options. There's 2 options. This is the backstage view, there, but under view, there's an options section too. And
Grid lines.
grid lines is a checkbox there. And you click on it, all of a sudden you see grid lines all over the file. I wish they'd use different names sometimes, but they've used options a couple places. Change the margins to the narrow setting. Margins are going to be under page layout. And just next to where we did the theme stuff, you see margins, orientation, size, print area. If you click on margins, there's a pull down and they've got
Narrow.
some set ones. Narrow is one of those. And one I use a lot is custom margins, where it'll bring up a dialog box and you can actually change the exact top, bottom, right, and left. This one's defaulted to 1 and 1 on the top and bottom and half on each side. But we got the preset ones. So I'll click on narrow. Again, in this view, you can't tell what you did. If you look at my print preview though, you'll see that now the margins are really narrow in here. They were probably wider before. You don't have to do that. That's just me looking curious to see what it would look like. So I've done enough talking, so now we'll take turns. I'll let you do it and then I'll explain it if something brand new. Elizabeth, you want to do the next one? Or do the next one?
The source data, we gotta make sure we're on the source data.
Yeah.
I mean, really, because it's cap on the products, but.
Yeah. They do that pretty often to us.
And set the printer repeat row 1 at the top. So we gotta highlight the row 1.
It's a good way to start.
Put the format, and I usually the page layout.
This is actually going to be under, well, there's a couple ways we could do it. I think what I would do.
Just right click and then do the A1,
Yeah, I think page layout, it's actually under print titles. You could open up that whole big dialog box, but print titles will help us. It'll bring up this big box here and rows to repeat at the top.
So you're on the home.
Under
Page layout,
under
right?
page layout, in the page setup section on the far right of that group, there's print titles. And what we want to do is rows to repeat at the top. And I'm going to click on that.
Down here. It doesn't say that up here. in the wrong place.
Print title, okay,
Yeah, close this for a second. Just a minute.
print area,
Print titles. No, the
Oh, maybe that's why.
print titles itself.
rows to repeat.
Oh, that's what we're doing. I
Yeah.
was down here.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
rows to repeat at the top.
Oh, okay.
And that's a cut.
And it'll probably bring up a blank box, but if you click on that number 1 again for the first row, it'll pop it in there.
It's, it is, okay, so it's highlighted.
It highlighted and it should say $1, $1, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Usually you gotta type this in, right, the $sign
You
one?
don't have to type it in. You can just, if you click on the 1, it'll actually fill it out for you.
It says that, but.
And then I'm gonna click on that little
Okay.
box again, brings up the whole dialogue again, and then I'm gonna just click OK.
Did it work? Oh, I don't know if mine worked or not.
Well, this is why I sometimes go take a look. That's why I like that print preview button.
Okay.
And I can see it's 6 pages long, and now if I go through the pages, oh good, I've got that title row on the top of every page.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Mhm.
That's real handy, especially, with these long
I
spreadsheets.
didn't know that you can do this. Usually I was typing those $sign, row and, that's very nice.
Yeah, it does, a lot of times it'll do things for you. The $sign has a special characteristic too. What a $sign is it's locking in something for us. So it's locking, in this case, row 1.
Row 1, yeah.
Hmm. And row 1 is the headers, really, basically, product, customer
Yeah,
ID,
it's
copy.
product, customer ID,
Okay.
Q1, Q2, Q3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is my gallery. I did. That's better when you, and this right, you don't know how you got it right, so you must do it again.
That's why with these, we'll go through, we probably won't get through all of them in here, but you can continue on this one
Mhm,
or do it again.
mhm.
At some students, it'll do them 2 or 3 times just to get more familiar with those same
Mhm.
things. Oh, I know what
Sure.
themes are now. Okay, I got
Right,
themes down.
yeah, print towns,
Yeah,
page towns, sorry.
we're gonna create another hyperlink. This one's different. B12 says mortgage or rent. So I'm highlighting that. And I'm gonna try doing the right click link, see if it works this time. Now, this is not, we're linking to a spreadsheet. We're not linking to a web page. But it says existing file or web page, but so that's all right, we're in the same spot. If it didn't say it on yours, you would want to go find documents and then geometrics templates. Because I've done this so much, I already knew where to go. And I'm looking for Excel 07.
Okay.
Once you get it, you can click OK. And then you notice now mortgage and rent has turned colors. And if we actually clicked on it, it would take us to that Excel 07 file. They didn't ask us to do that, but it was. Let's save. So we can link to web pages, we can link to other files. And we'll see this later too, we can actually link in the document. Sometimes you get a great big long thing, you have different sections, you have titles that would take you to that section.
Mhm.
So that can be handy too. Remember where we change views? They showed that in one of the videos. There's 2 places actually, well, probably more, but 2 at least. We could go to the View tab, and the different layout views are the first thing up there. Normal, page break, page layout. But also at the bottom, we'll get that zoom in, zoom out thing. There's 3 little buttons down there for normal, page layout, page preview. Page layout. Changes it to show what's going to be on a page. And also brings up, and we'll have this come in later too. If we want to put headers or footers in here, we can do that. Didn't ask us to do that here though, so I'm just going to that view. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, if you open up the other file, you can close that because you won't need that file. I was just demonstrating that.
So you got the monthly budget, right? Well, why do you have a different file?
Oh, you're on 19. I'm on 20. I went to the next one. So mortgage or rent?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I did that.
Yeah, but now you
Oh,
have to do it again. Wait a minute.
I got one,
I'm sorry, you're on,
no,
change the
page
page
layout.
layout, yeah.
Yeah. So we go to page layout, right?
No, you can do it under view,
View.
and page layout is this one. Yeah, that's.
That's
all-
it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay, and I was trying to monkey around with that,
Yeah.
that's the problem. Yeah.
It's also the one you can do, these are those little buttons at the bottom, these guys here, one of them.
Yeah.
It's called page
But
layout.
what this is doing to you, just showing you the
It's just
page.
showing you the different view.
Yeah.
So once we go to D6, which says 0.050, I'm going to make a comment there. So I'm going to right-click, insert comment, and I'm going to call it good rate. Which 5%, is 5% good rate? Well, if you're doing a mortgage, it's
No, it's not now, nowadays it's
we're
not.
at 4 or something. No.
It would be
And if it was
high
a,
threes,
yeah,
low fours, yeah. Okay, so it didn't take from mine, so.
Right.
Oh, this is, okay, you know what? I know why. Because,
you got a row highlighted, you just want the one cell.
yeah, and I thought I tried that the first time. Let's see, insert comment. Okay.
And I would click outside of it too, just to make sure it takes, and then you can hover over it and see what's a good rate.
That's one, but I didn't do it. Okay, good point, I didn't get it. Something
Yeah.
that was on my mind. Okay.
Sometimes it won't take it if you were still in that dialog box. If you're still in the comment box, you wouldn't think you had completed it.
You do what it asks us to do. And more.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When we got one row that needs to be repeated on
Mhm.
every page, if you have 3 rows that needs to be repeated, like for Tyler, for example. So if you will highlight those 2 or 3 rows that you want to repeat, it will automatically show you in the box for repeating.
Let's look
If you
at,
have more than one.
with this one example here, say I wanted to repeat this whole 1 through 10. I would go to page layout, print titles, and right now it's repeating, it's down below, it's repeating 14 through 16, but I could change this.
So if you double click on it, will automatically populate the repeating part? That's my question.
Well, no, actually it won't, because right now it was set to do 14 through 16, so when I clicked on it, you can see it's highlighted that down there. But if I wanted to change it, I could just paint over it. Like I want to do these first 10 rows. If I click on it now, then I've got row 1 through 10 in there.
So we'll populate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I did a preview, now again, it's only 1 page, but it shows this, it would show it again if I had another
More
page there.
pages. Okay.
Another one, changing the margins to narrow. And that's why sometimes I go peek to see what it looks like. This narrow margin, you can kind of see it here. I got very little there. It turns out this whole thing isn't that wide, so it's got a big wide margin. It's not, well, the margin's probably narrow, but there's just open space there. Your turn. I said I was going to do your turns, and I'm
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, now it's asking something we haven't even talked about. So
Right.
inspect the current workbook for hidden properties such as author and remove any of these properties and then return to the document. So this is going to be a backstage view thing.
Okay.
And we'll see this coming up. We can protect workbooks, make it so it's password protected and nobody else can play with it. But this is inspection, which is the next one down. And we can inspect the document. It's going to say, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, we want to do this. It brings up this.
And what would you go to get to inspect the document?
Backstage view,
Yeah.
check for issues, and the first
Oh,
thing
right there.
first thing in the list is inspect document.
Okay.
Brings up a bunch of things. Well, if they're all check boxes, you don't need to change them. We're going to inspect it, so you can click on the inspect button.
Mhm.
Now it tells us what's in there. There's document properties, authors, and different things, and that's what it wants us to get rid of. So we're going to click on remove all.
Mine says,
I didn't open.
make sure you save the changes because the document inspector might remove data.
Yeah, go ahead and hit yes.
Inspect the document, this one?
Yeah, inspect the bottom there.
Okay. And
Click on inspect.
Remove all, right?
Yeah, they're going to remove all.
And close?
Yeah, then click here, close. What that does, if we're going to give this document to somebody else, but we don't want our personal information to go with it, we would clear that out.
oh,
Especially if we're making it public or putting it on a website or something. We might not want to have that Keith did this, and maybe in this case there may not have been much in there, but whatever personal information would not be in there then.
okay.
You can re-inspect too, but it's going to just say nothing, it's not going to show anything there. Close it.
Another one I got right.
You didn't?
I did, yeah. Yeah, it's so fast, it's like, change the options of this worksheet so that the grand lines.
Oh, we just had this one.
Yeah, view, right?
Yeah.
Grid line.
View and grid lines. Show the grid lines. So they're going to have us pull up another worksheet and insert it in here. So it's not open right now. So what I'm going to do is file open. And I'm going to look for that Geometrics templates folder and Excel 07. I'm going to open it. So it might be hard to see, but right now I've actually got two files open.
So the geometrics templates, that's what we're opening?
Yeah, we're going to Geometrics templates and opening up Excel 07.
Okay.
Now I get to show you how we transfer things from one place to another. In this case, they want us to add the loan amortization schedule in that worksheet and insert it after the time card worksheet in 06. So I've actually got two files open right now. When you hover over the Excel at the bottom, you can see the two files. But what we're going to do is with loan amortization, I'm going to right click on the tab at the bottom. And there's a move or copy command in there. And it's going to ask us some questions. Now in this case, it doesn't tell us to create a copy, so I'm not going to. At the top, we've got Excel 07.
Why is it not working?
So, because we can't see the bottom of the sheet, you might have to pull this one up a little bit because you can't see the bottom of it.
Well, right clicking on that.
Not that one, the other sheet. So go back into this one. We can't see the bottom of it here because it's not all the way up. Click the full screen button over there. Oh, we still can't see it. Okay, click on it to partially minimize it. And grab it up here in the green, just drag it up. Now you can see it.
Mhm.
So you're gonna right click loan amortization, move or copy. And then we're moving this to the other one. So click on this pull down there and Excel 06 we're moving it to. And we're moving it to the end. We're moving it after that timesheet one. So if you click on
Move to the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
And okay. See what we've done is brought that in after the timesheet. So now we've got two tabs in here. And that's all they ask us to do. So we can click next and hopefully get a green check.
Mhm.
Okay, mine didn't work.
Okay.
So let's see. What did it do? Okay, so. um,
So what we need to do first is open up that other spreadsheet.
Okay.
So do file open.
Oh.
Close, allow us to close it.
Ooh, I want 07 up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And you got the same problem, you can't see the bottom. You might want to just grab the green area and drag it up a little bit so you can see the bottom. There you
Yeah,
go.
okay. Right click.
Right click.
Mm-hmm.
Move or copy.
Mm-hmm. Move to end.
At the top here, though, right now we're in 07. We want to go to the other files. So click on this pull down here
Oh,
and 06.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
then move to the end
That's,
after the time card.
okay. Oh, send it, okay. That I normally do over. I don't understand that process, okay.
Yeah, so now we see it on this spreadsheet, we've got those two tabs down here in the one spreadsheet now.
Okay. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Let's see what I did now. Okay.
Okay, they want us to add a header. There's a couple ways to do it, like they mentioned using the page layout, you can see that, but for this one, I think we'll use the insert tab at the very top. And way over on the right, you may have something called text. It maybe collapsed down, but within it, you should see headers and footers. And what it does, it brings up, it actually takes it into the page layout view. And we got three boxes at the top. And we got a new tab showing up at the top here. It's called Header and Footer Tools Design. And they've got a whole bunch of presets here. We can type in information, but with these presets, it'll do stuff for us. So header, we want the current date in the left field. So we look at these up here, there's one called current date. Oops, I'm in the wrong place, so I'm in the center. I want it on the left side, so current date. And it looks like a little formula, the and date. So it wants that in the top left. Page number in the right.
Did you put the real dates in here?
I clicked on current date at the top.
Yeah, but it just show, just give me this one.
Yeah, it gives you that, but when you click over here in the center one, you get to see what it actually is.
I forgot it.
Let me try it again.
It has us do three things, two at the top, one at the bottom.
And I clicked that, but it said, current date in the left header, which is here.
Mhm.
Current date. And it says page number in the right header.
Page number in the right header.
Right,
So
page
page
number.
number here. And then it says the name,
File name at the bottom,
it says,
or sheet name.
sheet name in the, left footer field, so I had to pay attention, okay. They want the sheet name and the footer.
For some reason, go to footer hasn't worked on this one too well.
It didn't, it's not working on this one either.
It actually popped me out, so what I'm gonna do is, one of the things,
I cannot go to the photo.
yeah, I know,
Header,
we've had problems with this before.
Sheet name in the left footer.
It's actually way down under line 64. I've got it to show up now. So it's way down there.
$64.
It's further than that.
Well, mine, actually what I did is I changed views and I changed back to the page layout view. So I changed to a normal view and then back to it because
Okay.
it wasn't showing up well.
Okay.
So what,
So just change your views.
To normal?
Yeah, to normal. You do that under the view tab.
Okay.
Just make it normal. Then click on page layout again and see if you can see it at the bottom. Looks like you have a split screen view there. And you're also way over, I don't know why it's.
yeah, and usually you got the majiggies down here that you can move.
Click on the button at the top there, so we can get that back up again. Okay, now you can scroll over. Go back down there. Just below the 64, so you can click here. That doesn't look right. Mine didn't look like that. Let's try this. Let's go to insert, headers and footers.
It's the header.
And go to footer, see if that'll take us down there. Ah, okay, now it showed up.
Okay.
And putting the sheet name on the left side.
Then I won't get me down far enough.
Oh, you're at the top again too.
But I've been down here. And it's,
Look,
See, on mine, I found it, but I'm right below 64.
I'm down here, it's not,
What view are you in now? You're in
I'm in,
page there.
uh-uh.
You can change them down here too.
Let's
So
see.
go to normal, then change it to page layout again. And scroll down and click, go up a little bit. Click,
Oh, there,
there it is, yeah.
okay.
And that's right in the center, I think, so you need,
Yeah.
is it the left one?
It said center, I thought.
it's left, on the footer, it's left.
Oh, left, yours left, okay.
And it's sheet name.
And just give you time card.
So what it's doing is taking our sheet name off of the tab at the bottom.
You won't let me know? Oh, here we go. Okay.
And it's just red.
And so,
And go
I
back to
need to
the header and footer tools. Sheet name is one
Yeah,
of them
gotcha.
that was there.
wow.
And then you click on the center one, it should show it up again.
It's red? Oh, I got red, so I got that here.
So it has to do 3 different things.
Let's see if it works.
Did it work, right? You got it right?
What for?
That was kind of hard though. I mean, not
Yeah.
hard, but that was kind of, a lot of steps in that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
You need a huge
Right,
monitor.
actually, we're gonna go to insert,
Insert, that's what we call it. Okay,
and
insert.
headers and footers.
Footers.
Go ahead and
Then
do the top 2.
okay, what this was date, right?
Current
Current
date,
date,
and then the right side, oh, whoops.
oops,
Yeah, you need 2 of them.
current
We'll do
date,
it twice.
Change
page number,
Page
right?
number.
the next one.
That's number of pages.
Change forward to
It's a little different from page number.
Maybe that's what I messed up.
You need to sit.
No, I got 4, no, page number, I got 4, right? And you're gonna get 4. Three, water.
Now to get to the bottom, this is where it's been causing us grief. Maybe you can scroll down and see it.
Not in April, but.
So about line 64, I think. Keep going down. It's not showing it. So here's what I do. I will click on the normal view, and then click on the page layout view again, the one next to it.
This one?
And then scroll down now and see if we can see it. Yeah, this area here is that
The left one, right?
left one,
It's,
the other left one.
I mean, the other left one. No, I put in the right one, and
Yeah.
left one, it's sheet name, so we,
Name. So click on this again.
this,
Yeah. Click on that. And it brings up this whole list, and here's
yeah,
sheet name
sheet
already.
name, yeah, how this one.
Yeah. Oops. And click on the middle just to see, yeah,
Yeah.
there's 10 curve. That should work.
There it is.
Yeah, good.
Maybe I double click on one, that's what I think.
Yeah, you're doing the left double, oh, I got it wrong. You're doing a bunch of double clicking sometimes.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
You add in tab twice or something else twice. You guys can continue on the next one while I fix mine.
The Excel options. Formulas. I will check these Excel options.
Got it right that time. I think I played with it too much. Okay, Excel options, this is going to be in the background thing again, so if I click on File, and Options is the bottom of the list. There's General, then there's Formulas. This is going to be under Formulas. And it had checked under Error Checking, Enable Background Error Checking, but they want us to not do that, so all we need to do is uncheck that box and click OK. All we've done is change that one option. So it should do it.
Yep.
This one, they want us to actually set the margins very specifically. So I'm going to go to Page Layout and Margins. This is one I do quite a bit. Custom Margins, way at the bottom. It'll bring up this dialog box. So it wants top and bottom 2 and right and left 1. You can type it in there, or you can use the little arrows to move it up and down. 2 and 2, top and bottom, 1 and 1 on the sides. I get curious, so I like to look at it. You can kind of see it moved it to the middle of the page. Those are pretty big margins. Both on the auto-save one, auto recovery one?
On the next one.
28. It's going to be backstage view again under options. It's under save. And she mentioned this in the video, way near the top there, it says it allows save every 10 minutes. But what they want us to do is change it to 5 minutes.
Click OK. Right?
And then OK. I like autosave, especially if you're typing in lots of stuff. And if the computer crashes, you get a power failure or something. When you pull it back up, it'll have that restore option. And you may lose a little bit,
But not.
but not everything.
Oh,
Not everything. That's why in the old days, we used to say file,
Yeah.
say file often or something like that. With the autosave, that helps us, but it's still good to save, I think, pretty often. Freeze the top row. So that's under View. And there's a freeze top row among the pull-down list. And we don't have much there, so it's hard to see what it did. Well, yeah, you can see what it did. If you scroll down, I use the roller bar on my mouse to do that. When you scroll down, you'll see that loan amortization schedule stays at the top. That's why I like freeze panes better than the split. Print area is a nice thing. You know, if we had a big long spreadsheet but only wanted to print part of it, we could do that. So what they want us to do is A1 through J13. So it's everything down to that break there where it's got the second line. print area is going to be under page layout. And in about the middle of page setup, there's a set print area. This is what I like to
Set
do.
print area, that's it?
Yeah, set print area under print area. And if you actually preview it, you'll see that it just has those top 13 lines and nothing below it. So even though it's kind of backwards, we have to actually select the area we want to put in the print area first, and then, set the print area. No problems.
Not yet. You jinxed me.
One of my students in the other class said, it didn't work until you looked over my shoulder, and then it worked.
That's it, 1, 2.
Oh,
Oh, no wonder there's 4. Okay, so. 1, 2. Okay, so let's just go back here.
Oh, okay, we're all on the same one. What they're actually telling us to do is change the color of those tabs at the bottom where it says expenses and income and everything. You can I'm on expenses, so I'm gonna right click it,
Okay.
and in that list, there's the thing called tab color.
Ah,
They didn't tell us much to do, so you choose any color you want. And then we're gonna do the same thing for the others. And when you're actually on that particular thing, it's hard to see it because it's highlighted, but once you click to the next tab, you'll actually be able to see the full color in there.
so.
So it's just it's a cosmetic thing in a way, but it just helps you see.
So what, okay, the colors that I selected, where do I see them, other than right
Yeah,
here?
you see them right there.
That's anywhere else?
No.
Oh,
Just,
okay.
it's just
Oh, that's
changing
all I
the
was looking
tabs.
for, okay. Okay. Gotcha. This is truly learning experience.
Create a PDF
Let's see.
and do not open that, that's like I did last time. So file save as is my common way to do this.
Geometric templates, right?
Yeah, and the geometrics templates. This is what I missed last time. There's a box down here that was checked, open after publishing. It says don't open it after publishing. So I uncheck that and then just save it.
Create a PDF of the workbook.
And we can't actually see it, but if we went to the geometrics templates folder, we could find it in there. Oh, got it wrong. Oh, because I didn't rename it. Just to save as, silly. It's got a different
I
name.
got it wrong, I don't know.
Did you rename it?
Yeah, Fusion Tomo.
Hmm.
Ugh. I don't know why.
This is one where I think Fusion Tomo does not have a space in it.
File save as. This PC Geometrics
Mhm.
templates, right? Current folder. Put,
Yeah, Fusion Tomo is one word in this case. They didn't put space in there.
oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah. They trick us once in a while with that. Wait,
And PDF, save. Yeah, they work out without the
They work,
space.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Don't
Okay.
put space, don't put space.
Let me try, we go browse.
now you won't see it because right now you're just looking at Excel workbook, but if you click on this to look at everything or all files,
No, but I want to,
you want to see the PDF.
no, I should not be able to just go, I'm looking, it says, create PDF for the workbook called Fusion Tomo.
Mhm.
Okay, so I save it, shouldn't Fusion Tomo come up?
If you were looking at all files right now, you're just looking at Excel, but we just created a PDF. So if you click,
Okay,
click on the pull down here and look for PDFs.
like we did before, right, okay. Shouldn't it come up?
It should, but then. Oh, it's looking for Excel, oh wait, click on that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, when I went to save as, I should have been able to pull up this file here, and I couldn't.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't necessarily, because it's practice test, it's not
Okay.
saving it. If this was real life, we'd
So
be able to.
just going to save it here.
Yeah, we'd be able to go out there and see it.
Okay.
And you had the
Okay.
checkbox that gave you the preview of it, so
Okay,
this is the PDF file, so you can go ahead and close this.
okay.
It may or may not tell you if you have it right or wrong.
Let's
Did you
see.
rename it, by the way? Oh,
So I got it wrong, 'cause- yeah, okay. So I was saying, seemed like when I went back to it to save as, that file should have popped up and it didn't. That's where, it should have been named Fusion Tomo, but it wasn't.
mhm.
See the rest of the file, let me go,
Cancel this for a minute, I want to show you something.
Okay.
When you do it, at this point, you can see the current folder is, the two
okay.
metrics folder.
Is that in
confusing
there?
it. Right, because you're creating it now. You just restart it again.
Creative, okay.
And you're
Okay,
renaming it.
oh, maybe that's fine. And Tomo.
No space.
Oh,
That's the other thing where they caught us on.
okay,
And you don't have to, you can uncheck this too, because it will bring up the PDF again. You don't need to do that.
okay.
Did you save that? Did that save?
I don't know, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
No. I think that's, I would think that if you're gonna save as, that would, well, okay, let me just try this. Save as, I'm gonna save it as Fusion Tomo. Okay, let's see. FUS. FUS. INTO. I don't see it as a PDF. You said it didn't change the file name either. So, it didn't change, the file name didn't, the file, well, but again, right, that's okay.
Yeah.
I have to go back over it. Because the
You must have done it
file name didn't, across the document, didn't change.
Oh, because we didn't open up the PDF. We unchecked the PDF.
No, we're gonna, right, but when you
So the
save a
Excel file
file,
would still stay up there. Excel file didn't go away, we
because
just saved
we
a
said not
copy
to
of it.
open it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Where's the go-to?
Go to under that Find and Select button. And Go to Special is one of the categories in there. And then you can actually, it brings up a box of stuff. Well, it defaulted to comments, and that's what they want us to go to. So I'm going to click OK. Took me to a comment in line 62. And I'm just going to delete comment. I'll double check. I'm going to do that again just to see if there's another comment out there. And it may tell me, nope, we got them all. No cells found. So it's just one comment, I guess, in line 62, or get rid of everything at once. It seems to do that sometimes.
How did you get the delete button? It's just comment, go.
Oh, when I get to the comment,
Yeah,
I right-click on that cell.
oh, not here.
Yeah, you click OK, and it'll take you to that cell.
And then,
Right-click on that cell and delete comment.
And to the comment, same code one.
So in this case, on A40, there's a box there, but they didn't put anything in it. So we're actually editing that box. It's a blank box right now, but we're gonna have to edit it. So you right click, you can see edit comment, it'll pop up. PowerPoint information.
Okay, 840, edit comment, right?
So you want to get in the comment box and, yes, add that edit.
And that's it, right? PowerPoint.
PowerPoint information, yep.
And it says red.
Mhm.
Got red.
Done. Let's see it again.
Edit comment, right?
Yeah. Click outside the box now just to make sure it took. And then if you hover over it, you can see it. That looks good. Neat. No. Okay.
I don't know. Did the same thing before. I mean,
Sometimes it seems like it doesn't catch it one time and the next time it does. $35 is kind of a funny one because page break preview looks kind of funny.
go to page layouts. Breaks.
Which one,
37.
37, oh, we're moving along then.
So you,
36 is hard to see, but actually line 1 is hyperlink. So you're right.
36.
So we're removing the hyperlink from.
I'm in the
Type.
page break, so I was waiting for
Oh,
you guys to do the page breaks. The page layout, right?
Mhm.
Breaks. Insert page breaks. Right? I lost. Cause
Okay, so we're just changing to the page break preview view.
so we're going to the view, right?
Yeah, view here, page break preview.
And that's it?
That's it. Yeah.
And then we're going to, that's 36, marketing budget, option, remove the hyperlink attached to the fusion.
It's hard to see because they reformatted, but this line up here, if you hover over line 1, you'll see that there's a where'd it go? Oh, we're on the marketing plan. This very first one is hyperlink. So all you need to do is right click and remove hyperlink.
And next, right?
And I would click out of it just to make sure it took it. Yeah, go ahead, next. Now, creating a custom layout. Layouts are under layouts. This is one I don't do too often. Put views, view, it's under view. The first thing we're doing is changing the view to be 125. And there's a zoom button, zoom section under view. It's got specific increments, but 125 is not one of them. So under custom, I'm just going to type in 125. It's bigger.
125.
And then they want us to save this as a custom view and name it layout 125. So very under view at the top there's workbook views. There's a place for custom view. And so what we're doing is we're adding a new view. We're calling it layout 125. This one has the space in there. If you click on custom views, again, you should see that in that list of things. You got personal views for 4 people.
This is to add.
Yeah, we're adding a custom view. So once you get to the 125 zoom,
Yeah.
you're going to go on custom view and add, and then you're going to name it layout 125.
Add the quick access toolbar? No.
No, under view,
Yeah. I got the 125.
custom views. Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks.
And this is where we're creating it. So under,
Oh, phew.
so add on the right side, you're going to add, because we're adding a new one. Now you're going to call it layout 125.
I got the layout.
Hit OK. Changing the paper size. Here in the United States, we use 8.5 by 11 and 11 by 17. That's about it. But if you go to
Euro.
I tried both ways and they both came back wrong.
Really?
I tried using the light bulb and at first I tried using page layout and changed the picture to A4 and it didn't work. Then with the light bulb, it said go to page setup. I did that and it still came back wrong. So I'm going to see what you did.
Oh.
What you do.
Oh, I've done this a few times, so I'm forgetting, but I usually would just go to page layout
Mm-hmm.
and A4.
Right. Mm-hmm. But it
What do they want you to do?
changed it to A4, that's all. I went there too.
Page layout.
So let's see.
See, I don't usually use that one, so I would usually just go to size,
Mm-hmm.
change it to A4. This may be one, 15298 sounds familiar. The ID number, I think this is one I turned into the Geometrics folks and said, no, it's not working.
I tried to quote the light bulb and it
I
still
did
didn't work.
A4, I did this page layout, a sheet,
Mhm.
Did it work?
A4, and then work.
Yeah, I did that by there with the help and it still didn't work.
Like that page size, A4,
That's what I just did.
and it took.
It didn't take very long.
I went and changed the layout from landscape to portrait, thinking that was it's because it was, that wasn't it either.
No, I don't think it's, shouldn't have
That's
anything
how
to
I
do with
did.
that.
Oh, hyperlink, insert.
Just hit continue if you get it wrong again.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's one that we did discover wasn't working right on
Okay.
some of our
Yeah.
machines.
All right.
So we're creating a hyperlink where it says budget document. But we're creating it into a new document, so this is going to be something different than we've done. So it's a link. And we're creating a new document, so this is where we're changing what we had before. I don't know if you,
So we're gonna
start
start the
with the
create,
document, then go to link.
we're inserting a hyperlink. But we're creating a new document and then it brings up this different view, display text to display. We want to display TomoCon budget.
name of the new text, right? That's what you know.
We're going to call it TomoCon budget. We're going to add it later. There's a checkbox for that. So we're changing the name to be TomoCon display, the text to display TomoCon budget, and we're going to edit it later.
So you just put TomoCon budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
Oh, I'm sorry, I got it in the wrong place. The name of the document should be
That does.
I did it wrong. I'm gonna leave that. I think the new document was supposed to be called, so the new document, I put it on the wrong line. Budget document was fine up there, but the next line should be TomoCon budget. Later.
Link. It's gonna be create new document, right?
Yeah, create a new document, and we're gonna edit it later. Leave the,
Documents.
Oh, that's what I didn't put, edit later.
Okay.
It's not gonna go.
I'm laughing
Our
because some of
team.
the stuff,
oh,
It happens so-
sense?
it
Yeah.
happened so fast and I don't know if it was right. I'm like, what did I
Create new
do?
document, right? Right? Edit
And
later,
edit later, yeah.
okay?
Okay, so this is gonna be an inspection one, so this is backstage view. Inspect document under the inspect workbook.
Oh,
Are you sure you wanna do this? Yeah. Or make sure you saved something. And okay. In this case, they want us to remove comments and annotations, so there's gonna be, you're gonna get a couple boxes up there to clear.
so we're gonna just take out the ones we don't want.
Yeah,
Uncheck the
which-
boxes, okay. We want comments and annotations, okay.
And I would just inspect them and you can see that those first ones have stuff. And you just remove all. And close.
So what did you go to into backstage and to what? To,
Backstage view,
yeah,
inspect workbook, check for issues, pull down there, inspect document.
oh, that's
It's gonna give you that yes or no
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Yep,
okay.
that's what we wanna do.
comments, right?
Well, inspect, just go ahead and inspect it, and you'll see that we're removing comments and annotations. So annotations, I think, I didn't say it, I went ahead and removed everything.
Ink annotation,
Annotations, I think, is just a fancy word for saying our personal information and stuff.
and close, right?
Yeah.
And I'm working. File. Inspect. Inspect. Yes. Comments.
No, keep it checked. If you uncheck it, then it won't know about it. And just go down and hit, click on inspect now, because we want to inspect everything. Now you can remove all. And I did it for both of those.
And close.
So the file is a CSV file. CSV file is just basically a data sheet. So we're gonna file save as geometric. Instead of, we don't have to rename it this time, but instead of PDF that we did earlier, you gotta find CSV, comma delimited. There's a few different ones, different CSV ones, and then we want comma delimited. It's going to give you a warning saying you're going to lose something with this. Okay. Good to know. CSV comment limited. There's a bunch of CSVs in that list.
Do you want to keep the format again?
Oh yeah, if there's yes or no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to save an extra practice? Oh, no, it's not what I want. Good to know.
So it's going to be a height one, so we're just going to column J, getting that black arrow on column J at the top. And the way I like to do it is just right click hide. We can do that under view too. View has a hide is right below where we had split. But I find it so much easier just to do the right click.
To the right, yeah. Okay, here's the worksheet, calculate page position.
But how did I do
Yes, that's okay.
Actually, to create a new worksheet in here, next to Miles' log at the bottom, there's a little plus button. You just click on that, that's going to create a new sheet.
Okay, where is it now?
Plus button,
Oh, okay.
down the bottom.
Oh,
And you can actually create a whole bunch by doing that. You don't need to.
Okay.
Ask us to.
and so,
And we're renaming it.
and we do that, oh, okay, with right click.
Yeah, right click, rename
This is interesting.
page, not sheet.
Okay. Wow, it did position it before mine was on, so,
So I need to is click on it and hold it and move it over and drop it in front of Miley's log.
wow.
So okay, cover page and Miley's log. They actually just
Yeah,
have it.
this stuff is just.
It'll still be mind-boggling.
I mean, but it's
easier.
interesting, it's like, you know, I can't believe I hadn't had to get more involved in Excel in my business career, that, you know, what little I've learned on my own, and so, oh, I could have done that, and I was, wow. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of times it's like, oh, the light bulb goes on.
Right,
Boy, I
yeah.
wish I'd known about that way of doing it, 'cause it would have
Exactly.
saved me some time.
Not familiar with it, you know. This is interesting.
I've discovered that for myself a lot with things I used to create manually.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, boom, you
Yeah.
get up using, click on a button or pulling in a template or something.
My brother was like, you don't use Excel? I mean, yeah, I use it, but like for database stuff, or if I don't use Access.
Mhm.
And I use Access a lot, but
Okay, that's good.
Excel, you know, and doing, calculations and stuff. No, I never, and just doing this exercise, he's like really interesting.
Hello? Yeah. My doctor's office, I got new glasses coming.
Oh, I need to get some. I have some computer glasses, but I didn't think about bringing them. I'll bring them on Monday.
Let's take a short break. Well, I need to take a short break.
Okay.
Okay.
Relax, stretch, stand up for
It's
a minute.
almost over. It's 12:38. We're done at 1, I think.
The 1:30,
1:30?
we're supposed to have half an hour break. Usually a teacher is doing a break, half an hour from 12 to 12:30.
I thought the class was 9:30 to 1. It's 1:30? It is?
But since he didn't do the lunch, so that you're gonna be one. But with TJ, you're gonna have half an hour break. From 12 to 12:30.
Really? So you took your classes in the morning, in the day?
Yeah.
It took you what, about 4 or 5 months they threw it? Are you glad you did it?
Yeah, I mean, I got the, I went for the office, certified medical office assistant also.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do the clinical, I don't wanna do it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that either. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No, I don't. So, I did the medical, the book that you have right
Mhm.
now, the billing and coding. And I did the, certified medical administrative assistant course.
Okay.
The 15th, Friday the 15th, I will have the exam for it. And I gotta sign up for the billing and coding downtown.
Oh, good luck to you.
Yeah, I need that up.
Oh, so is class till 1 or 1:30?
1:30?
1:30. Oh, okay. I thought he said 1. That's why I'm like, 1.